Okay, we're about a minute, yeah, we're a minute past 8, so I'm gonna get started. Feel free to keep chatting, guys. I will try and catch up on comments after. But yeah, welcome in everybody. I'm Erin, welcome to my tutorial here on Twitch. If you're here just watching, you know, feel free to keep just watching. You can hang out with everybody here. We've got a big group of about 140 here, so big group to hang out with on a Friday night safely inside. So feel free to hang out and chat. If you're here to paint, I will start instructing in a couple more minutes, but I'll explain what's gonna work if you're painting along with me. So how this is gonna work is I'm gonna change to this screen. You can still see me, you can still see the original painting, but I'm actually going to paint along with you step by step right here. So I'm gonna show you step by step what to do to get this beautiful, beautiful unicorn painting here. I've listed all the supplies in the Facebook event page. They're also in the chat right now if you look. But the supplies today, actually, the supplies are not correct. There are 5 paint colors there. You only need 4 today. You can include yellow if you want, but I did not include yellow. I just had red, blue, black, and white. Mary, thank you for the follow. In terms of brushes, I'll show you mine, but they are listed there. We've got a large flat brush, we've got a medium round brush, and we've got a small round brush. Any combination is fine. If you have different like types and different sizes, that's fine. I just recommend having a couple different sizes. Otherwise, other materials needed, probably a plate or some sort of palette. This is my Volcano Plate 2.0. Getting a nice layer of paint on there. A cup of paint water is a good idea. An apron is a good idea. Shout out Terry, thank you for the apron. And that's really all you need for supplies. Maybe like a towel or paper towel just to wipe off your brushes. In terms of where to find this tutorial when this is all complete, if anyone is watching along and wants to paint later, this will be on YouTube sometime in the next week, youtube.com/erinbunpaints. Otherwise, you can come back to here on Twitch to watch it instantly when I'm done. And you can come back to Twitch if you want to see me stream anytime in between tutorials. So I do a tutorial tonight. I usually do a tutorial like every Friday. But I stream lots on Twitch in between there. So if you want to hang out and paint with me and just kind of chat, you're welcome to come visit here anytime throughout the week and see if I'm live. And then other social medias, Instagram is great to see all of my past tutorial pieces. And then anything else? Facebook, of course. I'm sure a lot of you found me on Facebook. I love to post all of my tutorial events there so you can keep track and kind of plan ahead. All of those are Erin Bun Paints on all the respective medias, so easy to find. And that's pretty much it for my intro, I think. I think we just have people lightly chatting in the comments, so I'll do our little cheers and then officially catch up, and then we're good to start painting. Okay everybody, so we're going to start by kind of stenciling out where our unicorn is going. That way we can kind of plan ahead for what to leave blank. It'll make it easier when we're filling in our unicorn with the whites and the blues, and then what to do with the galaxy in terms of how far down. When I originally created this painting, I just did a huge galaxy like almost all the way down. Just took a lot of time and it took a lot of layers with the unicorn, so we're going to plan ahead this time. Just in case anyone watched me create this last week, they're like, oh, that's a little backwards, but that's what we're doing. Grace said you only use... Oh, excuse me. I thought it was you. Excuse me. Only using the right... There we go. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure you can make really anything work. So again, I'm sketching out first. So the color I'm going to use, I'm choosing to use a nice light blue color. And you can see it's because I put some blue tones in my unicorn. So if I use a light blue, it should be pretty easy to cover up with the white and the blue tones when I shade the unicorn. So I would go on your plate right now and mix together a light blue color. So lots of white with just a little bit of blue in there. I would use whatever brush you're comfortable kind of sketching with. For me, that's the medium round one. So just any medium-sized brush, I would say. Medium brushes will hold more paint so you can do a little more sketching rather than a small brush, which you'll need to kind of dip in and out of a bunch. So lots of white, teeny bit of blue. I get the blame for memeing even when I'm not goes over Plop's bun corner couch. Oh no! But I love the meme, Cindy. It means I relate the meme to you. It's so funny. It's a good meme. Listen! Alright, nice light blue on my volcano plate. So yeah, I know unicorns and just animals in general are really intimidating. Trust me, they intimidate me too, but I'm going to try my best to go nice and slow with it just as I did when I was trying to sketch it out on my canvas. So we'll all do it together. You can always change things as you go. You can change things after they dry as well, so if you make a mistake here and there, don't worry about it. You can always change it up later. Alright, light blue. I'm going to start It's probably about 1/4 of the way up the canvas on the left-hand side where my finger is. And I'm just gonna do a nice like long angled line all the way up to here. So not quite to the very top, we wanna leave some space. Just a nice angled line going kind of up to the right. Yeah, you can use a pencil, Julia. A lot of people ask me that, Erin, why do you never use a pencil? I have just found with certain pencils, I guess, the pencil lead kind of gets everywhere. If I'm trying to cover with white or any other light color, you can kind of see through it. So I just prefer to use a really light colored paint and just use that to sketch. But if you like holding something like a pencil, and that's totally fine. People have used chalk before as well. I've heard a lot of chalk being used to sketch. Okay, so after that angled line, I'm just going to kind of curve to the right. Kind of curving around for the head. So with my mouse here, you can see right about there. Just kind of curving up and around. Ah, yes, Henry, welcome back. I do have a Discord. All right, so once we're on the top right-hand side of the head, you can see here on the snout area, it pretty much comes straight down. It's not really angled. I do a little bit of an angle at the end, but I would say because the unicorn's kind of looking over the shoulder, the snout really comes straight down here. So I'm gonna go from the top right and just do pretty much a straight down line, like a very quick curve, straight down line. For reference, I would say you're about over halfway. So halfway's about here. Halfway's about there, and you're just a little further over. So the head's kind of a little more centered. For the red, I have cadmium red, medium hue, and primary. Which one is better for this painting? Catherine, I use bright red. I think primary red. I'm not really well rehearsed in all the red colors. I would probably just go for primary. It's just the most like regular sounding red, and I use bright red, and I think that's a pretty normal sounding red. It's nothing like, you know, altered with warm or cool tones. So I would try that. Another thing you could try is just mixing them all with a little bit of white. See which one comes out with the brightest pink, because if you like the nice hot pinks, I would just use a red that creates some nice beautiful pinks. So if you have time to test them, mix some of them with white and just see how they turn out. Some might be more muted, some might be more hot. Can't see the line. Is anyone else having trouble seeing the line? Chalk. Is it hard to see the line? I can do it a little darker blue if you like, and then I'll continue on. Chalk and egg. Ooh. I see it. Cool. Thank you, Cindy. I'll go with this like medium toned blue. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Gray. Cool. All right, I'll do it a little darker like this. Yeah, thank you very much for the raid. I'll shout you out in a second. 1 second, just in the middle of a tutorial here. So after I go straight down, everybody, I'm going to do the snout. I would say the snout is about like 2/3 of the way down. Like the very bottom of the nose. It kind of comes out a little bit, so I'm curving out and then in. See how it kind of angles out a little bit. Carly, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in, Raiders. Excellent, Julia. Glad you can see it. Ian, welcome in. Carly, welcome in. Thanks for the follow, Carly. Or excuse me, Ian. Whoop, whoop. Thank you for the shout out. Ian, you're working on some art. What were you working on today? I'll try and chat with you. I am running a tutorial right now, so I'm going to try and get these steps moving, but thank you for the raid, and feel free to send over any links to the mods here. We have Gray. We had Doe here. We had CJ here. Christmas Jones. They're all willing to help you if you want to show anything off. All right, snout here. If you want to continue inwards, just to kind of show yourself where the head is, you can now do a little bit of a curve coming in like this. So I kind of took the snout, stopped, and then did a little like swoop down and back up, just so you can kind of see the shape of the head, how long it is. If you need to lengthen it, you can do that. I think I'm going to lengthen mine a little bit, for example. So again, that's the beautiful part about acrylic paint. You can just kind of do it again and again and again until you have something you like. Yeah, I wanted mine a little longer, I think. More room in the head. Yep, okay. So I'm gonna stop right there. Thank you so much. Working on a drake and snake. Ooh! Everyone in chat, if you want to click that link, check out what was being made on stream. That would be great. I usually show it off. I'm so sorry, Ian. It's just because of the tutorial. I'm not going to switch screens, but I am looking and giving you a quick follow here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And everyone else, please. Oh yeah, no, you're fine, Gray. Ian's Instagram. All good, all good. Check that out, please, if you haven't. Looked like cool stuff. I'll be checking you out a little bit later, too. You're very welcome. Yeah, sorry I can't show it on screen. I usually do. It's just because of the tutorial and keeping it focused on here. But thank you so much. Ooh, I'm your 700th follower on Twitch. I'll check you out later. Oh, cool stuff, cool stuff. I see. All right, now that we have the head here, I'm just going to finish off with the body. See, we're almost there. It's not too much, right? We're just going to do the body now, and the body kind of swings from the bottom of the snout here. I'm just going to point with my mouse right around there. Just kind of swings down and back up. I think my snout is way closer in this one than it is here, so I might move it back a little bit. My body, you can see, is a little bit short, so I'm going to start moving things around. But that's the last step, just kind of doing a swoop down and a swoop up, and that's just kind of the arch of the back. So now is your time to look at the shape as a whole. If you don't like the shape in any way, start to change it. So like I said, I felt like my head was a little too far to the right. I'm going to sketch it again a little closer this way. Far down. And then over. I think that's a little better. Yeah, then I got a little more room in the body. And then the idea is when you're doing your galaxy, you can just kind of cover up things. So I'm going to be covering up this line and anything up here I don't like. So you do the same. You can do this as many times as you want until you have a shape you like. Just realized there is a discount on point redemption. Yeah, Allie, you could use that. It's limited time. So if you have 75K either today or tomorrow, you can use it. Are you an artist too, though, Carly? All artists deserve the love. Gotcha. Alvin, welcome in! No, you're okay. Stuck on a puzzle. That's a nice thing to get stuck on, though. Wait, is it your raccoon puzzle? What's wrong with your head, Julia? Let me know. Maybe I can help you. Whee! And Lori, welcome in. Nice to see you. Hello. I'm glad everyone's enjoying your stuff, Ian. Well deserved. Just giving an extra minute in case anyone's still fixing up their unicorn. I saw, Julia, you said it looks a little weird. Let me know what it is and maybe I can help you. Carly is my girlfriend. Will join me on my streams next week. Oh, cool. Very cool. Doing what? Like doing art together, I assume? Or other content? It's 2 square. Okay, so you could probably just round out some things. You can make maybe like a curve a little more on the back or something, just allowing things to flow together a little more. I do like kind of, it's not really a square head, but mine is pretty flat, you can see. And then that way I can kind of move the mane, you know? Far over here, far over there. The ears are gonna go there. We could map out the ears too, actually, so we can do that. But yeah, I would say mine is pretty flat and a little bit square. Yeah, let's throw the ears on here just to get that mapped out as well. We'll put the horn on top of the galaxy later. There's no need to leave room for that. So yeah, let's do the ears real quick as well. So these are kind of like just very curvy triangles. You can see a straight line in the inside. This is a little more of an angled straight line on the inside, and then it does a funny kind of angle straight down, angle straight down. So that's kind of the shape I go for the ears. So I'm just going to finish sketching the ears, and then we will move on to the galaxy. So just using that same brush, same paint, I'm starting just left of the middle. I'm going to go straight up. Not quite to the top, but almost. Do a nice little curve down, angled down, and then straight down. Straight line, angle straight. This one, I tilted just a little bit, but it's still a straight line, I would say, going up over here, and then I curve around, go down to the right, and kind of lock into the head like that. 2 little ears. Okay, I'll just give you a minute or 2 for that. 1 out of 10 to get the next raffle. You'll get there. You know it's possible now, right? Oh, stippling art. I love that too. Sasa King, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Mizzy, thanks for hosting. Pinkerbell, thanks for the follow. Sorry I missed you there. It's a raccoon puzzle. Very cool, yeah. So are you going to do that now, Alvin, or just chill a little bit? That sounds like a good night, though. Dragon, welcome in. Hello. Art together. That's so cute. Yessie, hi, new here. Haven't painted since I had my baby. I missed it. Oh, I'm so glad you're back to painting. Are you painting tonight, or are you just planning on painting later? Either way, I'm glad. Good evening. This is it. Nice to see you again. Discord's right there. Thank you, Dragon, very much. Yeah, it's possible. Yes, you can do short anything, tall anything, long anything. It's your painting. It's your unicorn. Joe said it earlier. Cyborg Joe in chat. Unicorns are mystical. They're magical, so that means you can make them whatever you want. You know? Make them look however you please. Alright, I think that's been enough time for just the unicorn shape, so that's good. We can now move on to the galaxy. I love the galaxy part of this painting. It's kind of like a cotton candy galaxy. It's all pink and blue and purple. So what I did is I started with the purple. The purple's the darkest color we're going to use, and then I'm going to show you how to blend in some pink and blend in some of this kind of blue teal color. If you want to change the colors of the galaxy, feel free to. You can do some greens. Again, if you have yellow, you can make green, do yellows or oranges, do straight up yellow. Yeah, lots of other colors you can do, so feel free to customize. Use a couple different colors that blend well together, and then use the technique that I teach you. So I'm going to start by mixing purple. So that's going to be red and blue together, and I'm going to keep using the medium round brush. So wash that off if you haven't, and then you can mix together red and blue. Lurk mode. Sounds good, Ian. Thanks so much again for the raid and for bringing your community here. Have a good evening if that's where you are in the world. Clogged. Ugh. Ahoy! Ahoy, Flying Sock Squid. How's it going? How be ye? We be good. How ye be? Want to help? No worries, Carly. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, the galaxy. Guys, my simulation glitched earlier. I'm on to our creators. Oh my goodness, what happened? Deputy, welcome in. Night already, streaming till 2. Oh boy, so you're far away in the world. Okay, yeah. Have a good evening. Yeah, well deserved. Have a nice break. All right, red and blue mixed together for purple, everybody. Again, my medium round brush, red and blue. I'm going to keep it just red and blue, and it's going to create a nice dark, dark purple. I want the dark purple. If you want it a little bit lighter, you could mix some white in there, but I'm sticking to the darker shade for now. It's going to be my dark amongst all the other light colors. Mm-hmm. So just purple for now, red and blue. Again, you can see a really nice dark, dark purple. That's it on the canvas, just if you want to see it. In order to apply it to the canvas, I'm going to actually wet my brush and liquefy the paint a little bit. I've been using this technique for galaxies for the last couple paintings, kind of using a watered down paint, and I really like using it, so I'm going to keep using it. So I'm just dumping my brush in the water and then kind of swirling it in my purple, so it really kind of liquefies it. It's not like pure water, it's not super, super liquidy, but I'm just making it a little bit thinner than it once was. Thanks, Ian. At least like an hour and a half of work finishing tower paint. Oh, cool. Yeah. I don't know, it's worth it to take that extra time, though. I'm sure it's gonna turn out really, really cool. Wildberry, I see you. I'll read your comment in a sec. So once I have my paint a little bit more liquidy, now I'm just going to start kind of tapping it or brushing it on. So I'm not doing a whole lot here. I'm either tapping with my brush or just going back and forth with it. I added the water so the paint becomes a little bit thinner and so it stays a little bit more wet on the canvas because I want it to stay wet so I can blend it because I'm going to be doing lots of wet on wet blending. So where I'm adding this, I'm leaving some big sections open. I'm really adding it anywhere. There's no particular spots I'm looking for. I'm just kind of adding it, again, in kind of big blobs or in little strings kind of coming off of those blobs, just starting to cover the background in any way I like. You can kind of see my galaxy, my original, to get an idea, but you can see just kind of like little trails of purple, little blobs of purple. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill up all the surrounding space with all the pinks and teals. So you can see just kind of traveling down here, continuing to wet my brush, keeping the paint thin and wet. I'm just going to keep adding as I keep reading. Hi, Erin, this one's pretty, but I'm just going to watch a bit right now, paint later. Sounds good, Wildberry. No worries. I think quite a few people are doing that tonight. We had a lot of questions about where to see the video after. So you're amongst friends with that strategy. No worries. Maybe you could do like outline galaxy and then chill a bit. So again, kind of sprawling around, left, right, up, down, doesn't matter. Oh, you got black. Good, okay. So you can save that for later if you want. So again, I'm covering up that initial outline, so make sure you're covering up any outlines you didn't like that you want to cover up. Just move your galaxy right on top. I wouldn't worry about clean edges for now. If you want, you can kind of clean up your edges by brushing with your brush, but usually I just wait until I'm doing the final outline with my white to do that, so you don't really need to worry about that right now if you don't want to. Destiny, hello! Hi Chad, hope you're all having a great day. You too, Destiny. How was your day? Does it look a little black in appearance? For the purple, yes. The purple will look very, very dark. If you use a lot of blue especially, it'll look very, very dark. You can see mine's a little brighter. It might be because the canvas is showing through a little bit, and that's probably because my paint is so thin. I'm continuing to dip in water, so it's thinning out all the paint. But yeah, it might look a little dark. Oh, let me know what's up with your color. Maybe I can help ya. Hi chat, don't mind, don't hit the chat. Not nice to hit. Oh, that's cute. Don't hit the chat. Yeah, I'm at work right now, but I really enjoy watching her. Oh. Yeah, everyone's in different situations here. Akira, thanks for contributing to the Bob Ross challenge. Can't type on me. I'm getting you. I can read what you're trying to say. I'm getting good at that. With everybody, I mean. Just watching. There you go. Yeah, just relax. All good. Okay, so I've got this like sprawling purple. I'll give everyone a quick minute or two, but I do want to move ahead a little fast just because we're doing wet on wet blending. Once I describe and explain wet on wet blending, then we can kind of slow down and take our time and re-add paint as we need to. But just because I added all this paint, I'm going to try my best to use it and blend it away. Acrylic paint dries in like usually 5 to 10 minutes. It might take a little longer because this is so wet, so that's good. But yeah, still working like against time here just to blend. But again, you can always re-add. So once I explain the steps, we can really just slow down and take our time. Ecstasy, I did the outline with the highlighter, lol, because I had not expected to paint tonight, but I'll do this. Oh, okay, cool, all good. Yeah, whatever mediums you like. Yeah, Julia, I'm going to try and go to pace best for everybody here and try and keep it in about 2 hours. You can always pause the video if you need to, actually. I had a busy day, if you can tell. You're fine. Yeah, when there's like 3 spellings, you're like, all right, I'm done. Yes, Nilu, will this video be saved for sure? It's saved on Twitch instantly. It'll be on YouTube within the week if you type !YouTube. There you go. Thank you, Dragon, for answering. Brilliant red and the blue make a maroon, bright red and blue make a purple. Ah, there you go. Hope Storm's wifey, thank you for that piece of knowledge. I'm not good with the other, like, yeah, brilliant red versus, like, true blue or any of the others. So if anyone has different colors they want to tell everyone about, always super helpful. I use the same basic 5 every time. My purple dripped in my unicorn. Oh, Marion, that's totally fine. If anyone had purple drip into their unicorn or overlap, no worries at all. Just wipe it away. It's not going to wreck anything. You just might see a little bit through it in the first layer. You could always do 2 layers to cover it up, though. All right, let's start blending away. So I'm going to use my medium round brush. I'm going to wash it off. And I'm going to start with a nice bright pink. So I'm mixing together red and white. Red and white. This is it. Inspo is always from just photos I see online. A lot of people submit photos. A lot of people submit ideas that they want to see taught. So I have a big list. I have a big list going of just subjects, and then I kind of use a bunch of images, put them together, create my own version. And Bob Ross, he's a good inspo too. All right, red and white creates a nice hot pink. I again want to dip my brush into the water and then kind of swirl in the paint to make it nice and liquidy. This will also help with blending, by the way. Kind of liquefying the paint, I find it's a little easier to blend. So it's a little runnier. What I like to do is I like to put it in the middle of the gaps first, so you can see I'm kind of filling up with just plain pink wherever I want to go. So you don't need to go everywhere. I'm going to leave some spots for some blue. But I'm just going to place it down for now. I'm trying to just kind of put it beside the purple, close to the purple, not quite mixing yet. I will soon though. And you can see I'm not being too clean with the ear, for example. It's all kind of going around close by. Let's leave that gap. Let's go like up here. So just kind of bordering any edges that I'm going to blend and then filling in any areas I want to be pink. And you can do this like step by step too. You don't need to do all the pink. You can do just little bits at a time. So for example, I'll start blending. So I've laid down some pink here. You can do again one section, many sections, doesn't matter. Depends how quick or efficient you want to be. But now I'm just taking my brush with no extra paint on it. I just kind of lightly wiped it off on my towel. I'm just kind of tapping or brushing in between the two colors. And you can see what happens is the purple and the pink kind of mix together and blend together. I'm just going to zoom you in so you can really see for the next part here. See how soft that's looking? So that's just me taking the brush with no extra paint. Just kind of tapping in between, moving it around. You can see you kind of move it down, move it up a little bit. If you move the purple up, it's going to cover more pink because purple is the darker color, so just be careful of that. And I'm continuing to wipe off my brush because my brush is continuing to get some purple on it. And the purple's very dark, so I want to keep removing it. But yeah, tapping away, just moving the two colors into one another, allowing it to kind of swirl outwards. You can grab more pink and kind of move it out. See that? Just moving it around. You can always grab more paint on your brush if maybe the pink is disappearing. You can kind of like plop it back on, mix it in, allow it to move around. Now we're getting some nice blended galaxies. All right, I'm just gonna zoom you out again so you can see the whole thing. But that's a nice blended area now. So I'm just gonna work my way around, continuing to do that. Tapping, moving my brush around. No worries, warps in. No worries, your color can be darker, that's all right. Extra artsy, just where you could order. Ooh, fun! Yes! You could use my design and put it on there. Oh my gosh, we just did a palm tree the other day. Feel free to use that as inspo if you want to stick that on your ukulele. That would be so cute. It'd be so fitting. Back from the land of the Lurk. How was the land? What's new there? Painting with you since COVID started and finally figured out. Oh my gosh! Hope Storm's White. I'm so glad you're here. I know a lot of people are still making the transition to Twitch, so I'm really, really glad you tried. French Fry Turk, thank you for the follow. Yeah, it's not so bad, right? Created an account, now you're here. Free to watch still. Yeah, just a different platform, so I'm so glad you came over. I feel like this paint is going to have me practice myself. Yes! It's a lot of blending in this one for sure. Even in the unicorn, lots of blending. Okay, so I'm going to go back to adding some pinks. I'm still leaving some blank spots for blue later. Or again, leave any blank spots, whoops, for any other colors you want. So just adding the pink first and then I'll blend. Had a hard time with Phoenix sometimes. It makes streaks like dry brushing. Oh, okay, okay. Yes, the purple and pink can mix. That's the whole point of blending. We want them to mix. You can mix lots of other colors. If you're ever wondering about which colors to mix, a good place to start is just looking at the color wheel and making sure the colors are touching or very close together. You wouldn't want to go opposite ends of the color wheel, so you wouldn't want to mix red and green, for example, blue and orange, yellow and purple. But pink, purple, even though they're a little further away, they can still be blended nicely. Having dryness issues with the trees I'm doing current project. Yeah, I've had that issue before too, Flying Sockswood, where it's like I can't keep adding water because I want it to be like really bold. I know what you mean. Oh no. Maybe just like many layers or something like that, like doing a watery type, but just lots of layers to make it a little bolder. Yeah. Yeah, I really have been enjoying blending with lots of water in the paint. Again, it's not super liquidy, it's just a little thinner than usual. And I find especially for galaxies, it really helps the blending for whatever reason. It just makes it look a little more swirly and blended. It's just a different kind of look, and you see all the brush strokes too, so it makes it look a little more textured, all the little pockets in space, you know? Love that pink. Thank you, Purple Midge. Not a color I've ever had to mix so far. Oh. Yeah, I just use lots of red, a little bit of white, and that way it stays nice and hot pink. Alright, so clean-ish brush, just nothing extra on it, and I'm just kind of tapping or moving my brush in and out of the pink and purple. So the longer it takes for you to do this, the higher the chance that your paint is going to be dry. I can kind of see my purple is in the middle of drying, but there's still enough that it keeps blending, right? So you can just keep going as long as you're hitting a little bit of wet purple to mix together. It's actually a little nicer that way because the purple is very, very dark. So it stays a little more in control if it's like half dry, half wet. So that's kind of nice right now. I'm going to keep using it like that. But if you ever get to a point where it's just too dry and it's not mixing, just add more purple on your brush and then go in and do this step. So I'm going to do that now. Just a little bit of purple, tapping, moving around, and that way you're adding some fresh purple to the canvas as you go. And you can see I really like breaking up the colors, so rather than leaving that pink like a nice big splotch, I think it looks really cool to bring the purple in. Kind of like breaks it up a little bit, zigzags in and out a little. So that's a good start there. Just give everyone a minute or two in case you're kind of processing all of that. And then I'll start to add a new color. Seafoam green concert size uke. Ooh, fun. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Wildberry. I mean, as long as you send me the photo after, I would just love to see the photo if you use my design. Yeah, full permission. Go ahead. That'd be so, so cool. Yeah, we did a palm tree and it was like a seagull on a little post the other week. Nilu, thank you for the follow and welcome in. Twitch is 1,000 times better than Facebook for streaming. Yeah, it's been very, very consistent. Very, very good. Not much room for another color. Oh, okay. You could always pile color on top of purple, Julia. If you're using purple, for example, blue would go very nicely on top of it. You could also add a little bit of white on top of areas where you want color. Let the white dry and then add color on top again. You'd have to re-add purple to blend it and to mix it, but still definitely doable if you want to add more color. Getting a lot of snow. I would say no, Charlene. It's been like on and off a little bit, but nothing substantial so far. Yeah, just kind of like little sprinklings here and there. Oh yeah, Phoenix, are you finding that? That's interesting. I'll be here. Thank you, Christy. Oh, Wookie, you agree. That's very, you finding that, huh? Like anyone we know or just people you've seen randomly? Any streamers I'm aware of, I'm wondering. Certainly would. I like to do black image on it, like a night paint. Ooh, yeah. Like a nice moonlight in the background. That'd be so cool. Oh, lots coming there. Yeah, I heard up north it was snowing a lot today. I agree, Wildberry. I really love the snow, and so far it's just been like small blanket, small little bits of snow. Not much, not much. Just people I've seen on Facebook groups. Okay, interesting. All right, Wookie. Thank you. I might ask you more about that just out of curiosity, but I'm here to stay, I think. Put so much time here. I love it here. I'm gonna stay here. Yes, from Facebook. Oh, okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what's there. Like, as you know, I upload there, but live stream here. How long do your paintings stay up to access for free? Same me, maybe? Forever. They're on YouTube forever to access for free. It just takes about a week to get them up on YouTube, but then they're there for the indefinite future. I don't know why I'd ever delete them at this point. They're there. They're out in the world. So, free forever. Alright, I'm just gonna move on to a new color, everybody. Keep taking your time if you're still working on the pink or whatever color you're working on. But I'm going to make teal. So not quite light blue, but more of a teal color. So I'm actually going to mix 3 colors together. If you want to prepare, I'm just mixing, or I'm washing off my medium round brush. So you can wash that off whenever you're ready for a new color. Come on out. Ew. There we go. So 3 colors total. First 2 colors are yellow and blue. I'm just changing the music to make sure this is staying copyright free, honestly. There we go. Thank you. All right, white and blue. I think I said that. I hope I didn't say yellow and blue. White and blue to begin. So we're making a nice light blue. Snow yesterday, so beautiful. Ooh, so much snow in Fort Mac, of course. Magic Dad, welcome in. I started the mountain scene, but I'm using my extensive model paint and I'm waiting to get some other acrylic paints next week. Oh, so cool! Like the Lake Louise one. There's a couple mountains I've done. I've done the, there was like a Northern Lights mountain piece. Ooh, which one? Okay, so blue and white, and then I'm mixing a little bit of yellow. So that's what's gonna turn it more teal, is the tiny bit of yellow paint in there. Twitch and YouTube. Okay, cool. Good to know. Gotcha. I gotcha. That makes sense. I gotcha, Wookie. Mizzy, I saw you host earlier. Thank you for that and welcome in. Mimosa's not talking about it. I'm more familiar with you too. Right, okay. I see. Yeah, yellow goes in there as the 3rd color. So again, starting with blue and white and then adding a little bit of yellow. As much or as little yellow as you like. The more yellow you add, the more it'll turn kind of like an ocean green type color. If you add just a little bit, it'll stay more teal like this. So I'm staying more in the blue teal spectrum, so just a little yellow in mine. So same idea, I'm just tapping that on, brushing it on. I did liquefy it again, so I was dipping my brush in the water, kind of rubbing in the paint. That way it's a little easier to spread, it's a little bit thinner. And yeah, doing the same thing where I'm adding it in the gaps, so I'm just covering the remainder of the gaps here around the unicorn. And then I will blend. I anticipate my purple will be dry, so again, I'll show you how to fix that or just kind of work with that once I get my teal on. Again, kind of messy. I'm just leaving general blank spaces for the ears and stuff. It doesn't need to be perfect. We can clean it all up as we go. Lake Louise. Oh, sick. It's been so long since I did that one. That's a good one, though. Classic Canadian scene. I really enjoyed it for that reason. Same, YouTube, Facebook. Right. Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. Don't worry, guys. I'm not thinking of leaving. I'm just curious, like, reasons why. I'm always kind of just watching, you know? What the issues are. So I know my issues when I was on Facebook, so I'm curious what other issues people have. Doing this unicorn, what's on YouTube? Will it be okay to use it while streaming, Erin? I will be sure to give you credit. Oh, like painting it? Yes, definitely. If you want to tag me or like put me, yeah, anywhere in the information just for the design credit, Mizzy, please go for it. That would be lovely. I appreciate you asking. But yeah, my whole idea is I want people creating. If you want to create on Twitch, totally fine. I'd appreciate any sort of shout out just to like tell people where the tutorial's from for sure. Like, if you have the video on screen, that's probably enough. People can see my name, and that's great. Thank you, Mizzy. I appreciate you asking. I'll check that out, hopefully. Not very familiar with Twitch. You have a YouTube channel, too? I do, yeah. So YouTube, thank you. Dragon is right there in the comments there. If you click that and subscribe, you'll be notified when I upload. I'll upload all of my tutorials there eventually. Just learning acrylics. I mostly do oils. Oh, do you? Oh, interesting. I'm the opposite. I'd like to learn oils, and I was a little bit, but I'm more on the acrylic train, clearly. All right, so I've got my blue or my teal on. Now I want to mix it into the purple. It's pretty much the same idea. The only difference, oops, is that it's dripping. But also the difference is that the purple is probably dry at this point because it's been sitting on the canvas for quite a long time now. So in order to blend it, you might just have to dip your brush into a little bit of your purple and then use that brush with the purple to go in between the teal and purple, and that'll help blend it together. See, you just kind of keep grabbing a little bit of purple. You won't need much because it's such a dark color, but same thing. You're kind of tapping or brushing, moving in and out of the blue teal area, kind of breaking it up just as usual, blending away. So again, grabbing that wet purple, tapping it, blending it out. So yeah, move the teal into the purple, kind of like, you know, trail it out, trail the purple into the teal, do a little bit of both, and you get lots of blending going on. 90 miles from the park in Oh, cool. You get some nice views and nice inspo for painting then. Wow. I think I'll try galaxy painting with oils when it gets warmer. Right. Yeah, galaxies. I want to try clouds too, Phoenix. I was talking a lot about clouds and oils, and I still am thinking about it, so. Same though. Just anything that I can't blend fast enough with acrylics, I'm like, I'm gonna do that with oils. Oh yes, they certainly do. I know that. Yeah, with the copyright music and a few other things as well. Might have to go to bed. No worries, Christy. Sounds good. Yeah, if you need to go, that's okay. Alright, so you see that's all kind of blended out here. I'm just gonna move the purple down. There we go. And then around the edge here. So again, if anyone had other colors that they want to add, feel free. You just might want to check if they blend nicely with whatever your main color is. So even if you chose something other than purple, just kind of think about that color and what blends in with it. Again, with purple, I would avoid yellow, for example, and probably orange. Maybe green as well. You can always add it just kind of avoiding the purple though. So if you wanted to add touches of yellow, you could always add touches of yellow inside of the teal, inside of the pink, because those blend nicely together. So there's always solutions. You just need to kind of think about it before you go for it. Scammers is one thing they're stricter about. Yeah, thankfully. I can kind of manage. Oops, it's dripping again. So yeah, if you get drips, just tap it off as you can see me doing. You might have to re-add some paint. I'm just going to re-add some pink right there, for example, but then I'll just continue on as usual. But yes, Phoenix, I'm super, super relieved that I can quickly ban those types of people who are trying to scam or, you know, be inconsiderate during the tutorial. I can very quickly manage that. So I have lovely mods who help me. Thank you, mods. But like worst case scenario, it's very manageable here versus on other platforms it was certainly not. So I haven't had access to my oil paint since March. Oh no, they're all like packed away somewhere. Well, you can learn with acrylics for now. A little switch up. Okay. Alright, so I think that's alright for my galaxy. I have one more little step to add before we add stars, so I'll just give everyone a minute or two and then I'll teach you about the next step here. That's good, Julia, I'm glad. Oh, you can refresh, Susan. I'm still here. I will tag you in the comments and tell you to refresh. There you go. How many scammers are there? I know. And I still get them on Facebook too. It's like they took a break for the holidays or something and then they came back full force. I think it was with my first tutorial of January. There were no less than 50 comments that I had to delete and manage right before my tutorial. It was either last week or the week before. Excuse me, 3 weeks before. Man, we're almost at the end of January. Yeah, I think it was the first one back. Anyway, yeah, hard to manage. They do. Went to a mental health wellness center and they've been... Oh, I see. Did most of my work there. I gotcha, okay. I'm glad you have something though, Magic Dad. Again, if it's acrylics, I'm glad you're learning with acrylics and just kind of staying creative. I know you look forward to when you get your oils back, but I'm sure you will eventually. I get it though, that must be very tough. Oh, really, Charlene? Yeah. They're awful, yeah, Purple Midge. It sounds like you know. Always creating their new tactics. It's just, they're very creative with how they do things. Too similar look. Maybe Love Mountains. Ooh. Yeah, lots of beautiful scapes to do. I just always think of Lake Louise when I think of the classic, like, body of water with mountains there. Too beautiful. Oh, miniatures. Oh, very cool. I follow a few miniature painters on Twitch. How do you follow? So there's a follow button if that's what you're asking, Julie. Julia, excuse me, the purple follow button bottom right. That way you're notified when I go online because I stream a lot throughout the week as well. 6-month-old back down after an hour trying to go to sleep. Only got the horse drawn. Run down the galaxy. Yeah, excuse me. Sip some water, so it's coming up. Okay, sorry. 3 colors, Mama. I started with purple. And I just tapped that everywhere. I kind of did it in a little like snaky fashion, kind of like a blob, and then snaking left and right and down or over, just kind of sprawling everywhere. I used purple mixed with some water, so it's a little bit more liquidy. So I put down all my purple first. I left some gaps for kind of pinks and blues, and then I tapped the pink in the middle and just blended outward. So I was tapping into the purple to allow it to mix. Because I was using water in the paints, it stayed wet for longer, so that way you can kind of keep blending and blending. If anything does dry though, just re-add the paint and then kind of tap in between to move them around. Thanks for the follow, Julia. Yeah, pretty much all. Just kind of moving those paints around, blending them together by tapping or brushing in between. And Hoki, I think you can actually, if you want, go back in the video right now. I think you can click my name, click the video, and scroll to where I was doing it. So if you need a visual, check it out, and then you can like come back to live and ask me questions. I think that would work. No worries, Christy. Have a great evening. I know, Charlene, it's tough. I had to do that last year too for mine. Pleb, welcome in. Peepo poo poo. Can't wait to paint this one. It's not something I would naturally try and do. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, Hoki Mama. No worries. I think that'll work too. So yeah, feel free to jump to the past and then jump back to present if you want. And I can keep answering questions. Yeah, Destiny, I know it's an intimidating one, but I think it's really cool and definitely doable. So I'm glad you're going to give it a try. All right, everybody. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of a white highlight to the centers of my galaxies. It's a very, or like galaxies, centers of the bright colored areas, not necessarily the galaxies. It's a small step, but I think it adds a lot to it. You can kind of see a little bit of a highlight like right here where my mouse is, for example, in here, you know, just in the very centers to really brighten up the little middle parts of the color. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the medium round brush again, so I'd wash it off whenever you're ready. But I'm going to follow the 2 today and only... Oh my god, Pleb, yes, I don't mind at all. I would love that because I loved it just as a galaxy when I was doing it. So please go ahead. Don't mind at all. Medium round brush, a teeny bit of white paint. I'm going to do dry brushing for this, so I'm not doing wet on wet. If you have a little bit of wet paint, you could certainly tap it on the wet paint and that'll be fine. But in case your paint is dry, you can do a nice dry brushing technique or just something, you know, in between. So for dry brushing, I'm just grabbing a little bit of white paint. You can see it's just on the tip of my brush. I'm tapping it off a little bit on my towel just so there's even less on there. Even less than that I want, just barely any coming off. And then I kind of tap it right in the middle of any of the colored areas. So I'm going right in the middle of a nice bright pink area, just kind of tapping and rubbing my bristles. And you can see it leaves behind a little bit of kind of like a ghosty, smoky look. So just by adding the tiniest amount of white to your brush, tapping off on your towel, tapping onto here. So see how much paint was coming off? That's enough. Like I'm going to wipe off my brush further and then move that around. It's a minimal amount of paint. Just tapping away, lightening up the center. You can see it as the smallest detail, but I think it makes a nice big difference. So I like to do that to any of the spots where I see just a lot of color, so it just kind of lightens up the middle. So here, going up here, for example, the tiniest amount of paint, tapping, moving it around. And again, if it mixes with wet paint, that's okay too. It kind of gives you the same effect. It'll just kind of blend the white in a little bit, but leave a little bit of a highlight behind. Let's go up here. Yeah, and I'm gonna do that in pink and teal. Dig keeps locking and losing voice. Susan, if you can hear me, you might want to change the quality of the stream. If you kind of hover over and click the little gear icon, you can choose the quality. You can kind of lower the quality depending on your internet. It might be the internet cutting in and out, kind of not handling the stream. Yes, I will be on Saturday. Christy. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit more to places like this blue area here. It's right in the middle. Again, tapping, rubbing my brush. Maybe right in here. Right over here. Again, you can see sometimes I blob it on and then I just blend it out. It's kind of similar to any other step that I did. I kind of tap it on and then blend it out after. So that was me just doing that, adding and then blending. Nice little highlight on top. Small step, I think it adds a little bit to it. Okay, I'll give another minute or two and then we're going to splatter some stars. That'll finish off the galaxy until we do the unicorn. Gonna try and take the time to make it nice. Sometimes you have to try and paint along, but then I think you have way more experience than I do. I understand, yeah, sometimes people paint along and they just like gradually take more and more time, Destiny, so by the time I'm finishing, maybe they're like a couple steps behind, but they've been able to kind of listen along and know what's next. They can always go back at that point too or ask me questions, so yeah, no worries. I understand though, it might be intimidating to go like as quick as I do, but yeah, you can always just slow down wherever you need to. I just think the benefit of painting live is like, I don't know, I think it's personally cool because I know people are literally painting along with me, but I don't know, it also means that people can ask questions, right? If they're running into trouble or something's not looking right, you're able to ask right there, so. Colors aren't the same as yours, but they still look really good. Yeah, good, Julia. That's the whole point. Some things might not be the exact same. You can see my galaxy is not the exact same in terms of layout, for example. It's always going to be different, but that's kind of the point. It's going to be your painting because you have all the colors that you want, so that's good. I'm glad you did that. Okay, another like half minute, and then we're going to splatter some stars, so we have lots of time for the unicorn coming up after that. I try and keep this within about 2 hours-ish. Try my best. What colors did you end up doing, Julia? Are they the same, just kind of different? Different pinks, different purples? Okay. So this is going to be the finishing touch to our galaxy, is our stars. So in my painting, I'm going to zoom in for you. You can really see how many stars there are. Look at all these. So I got these by splattering. That way I have nice teeny tiny, just very randomized stars. But lots and lots and lots to really fill up the galaxy. So I use a very messy method. I've done it before where I flick paint onto the canvas and then that way I get lots done in a short amount of time. It's a little messy, but I think it's fun. So in order to do that, I'm once again using the medium round brush, my favorite brush apparently. I'm dipping into the water and moving it around into white paint. So once again, I'm trying to really liquefy the white, like even more than before. We were liquefying these other colors to blend. I'm making a very, very liquid white. Very, very runny and drippy. Okay. Once I have that, it's kind of all over my brush. I'm kind of like moving it around in my pool of white paint. And I like to use the method where I take my index finger and I literally pull back the bristles and then I'm going to flick them at the canvas. You saw it come off there, perfect. I get nice and close to the canvas, that way the flicks don't go everywhere in your room. Hopefully they kind of stay on the canvas. They might kind of go past, of course, but just be careful there. And you're just flicking, look at that. You have liquefied white, you're flicking it off of your paintbrush. Like it's gotten to the point where I've covered my floor past my canvas because I know it's gonna flick over there, so I've planned ahead. And I also do this all the time, so. Sometimes you get big splatters, sometimes you get small. If you ever hate a splatter for whatever reason, you just don't like it, maybe it's like really drippy and you don't enjoy that, just wipe it away, put purple on top, put pink on top, whatever you like. But honestly, I would say keep those. Even the really like runny ones, because they kind of look like shooting stars, or if any come off in a string, it's like a constellation. I think it's cool to keep all those little happy accidents, if you will. You can see I'm blocking here because my computer screen is right there. I don't want to splatter that. Protect it. You can see how it's really starting to fill up even with just a couple rounds, but it is quite messy. Lots and lots and lots. That's probably good for me, honestly. I've got a lot on there already. The darker bit. Okay, so probably just a different shade of purple. That's okay. Need more practice with splattering. Oh yeah? Yeah, those are my pro tips there. Using your index finger, pulling back, going nice and close. Very liquidy white I find helps a lot. Gorgeous, make it sparkle. Yeah. Oh yeah, take it outside. That's a lot safer. That's a lot safer. I just take the risk. Now I'm thinking of all of us painting in front of our PC. Watch out for the screen. Yeah, oh my gosh. Any streamer knows, any art streamer knows that that's a problem. Even when you're not splattering, you're kind of going against the edge of the canvas. You might go flick over there and then it's all over the screen. Acrylic paint doesn't really damage. It's just annoying. It's just annoying to have to deal with. But yes, that's why I go like this all the way around. I kind of block. It helps a little bit. My arm caught a little bit today, but not the most. So yeah, you can do splatters, so feel free to keep doing that. I'll keep leaving some time for splattering. But you can also do some cleaner stars if you want. So you don't have to do all the messy ones. You can do some more individual ones. Oop, I see my battery died. 1 second. So if you want to do actual constellations or actual shapes in your galaxy, you'll be able to add those with this next step. I'm exhausted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, there it is. Lovely. There it is. I'm exhausted. Okay, so yeah, if you're done with splattering, if you want to just do a couple like individual stars that you want to add wherever you want, I just take the small brush, any small round brush. I grab some plain white paint. You can go back to the thick white paint. And literally you just kind of tap it on wherever you want. You'll produce probably bigger stars this way. You can see how bright they're coming off because they're a little bit bigger. But I just like to scatter those really wherever I see a little bit of a gap or I just want to fill up a little bit more with some bigger stars. So just literally tapping on and off, on and off, on and off. Some people use the back end of their brush. I'm using the bristles. Some people use the back end. They'll dip and dab. That's what I call it. Dip and dab, dip and dab. They do that because the back end of the brush, whether it's wooden or plastic, doesn't matter. It produces a consistent size star and a very round star. So if you like consistency, you can dip and dab with the other end of your brush. And some people like toothbrushes. So what was it? It was purple, right? Purple midge? Yeah, needs practice with splattering. Try a toothbrush. Maybe a toothbrush is more your speed. Like older toothbrushes, the very stiff bristles, they seem to really do well with star splattering. You can always try that. Because some people have trouble with the brush. Maybe their bristles aren't firm enough or whatnot. That could be a possibility. So excited to order your paint from Curry's. Ooh, and they'll arrive this weekend. 5 colors. Ooh, and your Liquitex. Nice combo. Good, good, good. It's always exciting. I'm so glad when people order my colors because then they know they have the right colors, right, Marion? It's like no color matching required, and I never really switch colors at all, so you're good to go for like all of my tutorials here. Yeah, exactly, Wildberry. I think it's nice to have both. And again, it gives customization, right? If you want to put a little hidden smiley face on the stars, you can do that, right? The Big Dipper. Whatever you want. Kellyanne, oh hello! Hi Erin, this is so gorgeous, thanks! I figured you would like this one, can't wait to paint this. I've been too busy with school. We'll definitely be doing this on YouTube as soon as available. Just saying hi, miss you too, Kellyanne! I knew this would be your vibe, I knew it, honestly. I was thinking of you when I saw the unicorn request come in. I was like, I bet Kellyanne would really love this with the galaxy background. Anyway, so glad you'll be doing it. Yeah, good luck with school. Staying busy's good. Yeah, nice to see you. Thanks so much for popping in. Oh, Michelle uses a tiny fan brush. There you go. Yeah, fan brush would be great too. Thanks a tip. I'll try the toothbrush. Yeah. Q-tips too, to apply the stars. If you want individual ones, Q-tips work as well. Faye, hello. I like to use the fan brush, very thin paint. Tap the bristle end and hold hand at the very tip, kind of like this. Make snow. Oh. Tap the bristle. Maybe like maybe. Yeah, that's the other thing. I see people smack it sometimes. I think it's a very messy way. It goes back and forth. That's my problem. It would get paint on the camera, and that's not good. No paint there. What I do is liquefy my white, load it with white, then I take another brush and hit the brush with paint. Then it gets on my hand. Oh my gosh, that's messy. That's a messy way to do it. But if it works, it works. Although you said you got paint on your hand. Falling stars, Erin, how do we do? You could do like a shooting star. So I would just use your brush, go inside a little dollop of white that is dry, or excuse me, wet. You want it wet. So if this one's wet here, and just reapplying paint, you can kind of just use your brush and do a little tail by swiping. And then you have a small little tail as if it's a shooting or falling star. So again, go in a wet blob of white, just pull up. There's 2 falling ones right there now. One more time. There's a wet little white dollop. I'm just taking a small brush, pulling, and it looks like a falling star. It runs out of paint very quickly, so it looks like it fades away. It's a cute idea. Yeah, last little star I'm doing, actually, I'm doing one more. I forgot. I added some little twinkly stars, which we could just wait for later, but I'll add some more later too, because I add them all over the unicorn. But yeah, if you want really twinkly stars, I like to do just a quick horizontal and a vertical line. So here's a quick little horizontal line in white paint using a small brush. Here's a quick, slightly longer vertical line, and that's my twinkle star. It's just the two lines. You can do more if you want to make it extra twinkly, but I like to add like 2 or 3 of those in the background too, just for an extra twinkle. Someone said sparkle it up. I'm about to sparkle it up now. You're welcome. Christina, what did you do with the stars with white? Do before the stars with white? Before the stars, I was doing white in the middles of the galaxies. So I was just using a tiny bit of white paint on my medium round brush and dry brushing it. So that means I was using a tiny amount and just kind of rubbing it in, scraping it on. There's a small amount of white coming off and it comes off in this cloudy effect. So just a small amount inside any of the colors. So I went like in here, I went up here. See how it looks like it's almost glowing? That's what that is. It's just a little bit of extra white in the middles. Hope that helps. If you were asking something else, if I misinterpreted, just let me know. If I misunderstood. There's another twinkle. They're very small, just vertical, horizontal. Cool. You can add as many or as few of those as you like. My snout might be a bit big. I'm gonna bring my pink down a bit. Just playing with my shape. We'll see how my snout goes. Sometimes it's best to wait and see how it looks. I'm kind of playing with the shape right now, but we can always play with it as we add our white. One more quick minute. Going to have to wash my hands. Oh yes, yeah, if anyone needs a quick minute to wash their hands, I'll give another quick minute here. Honestly, I just dunked mine in my paint water and wiped it on a towel. Not very clean, it's just kind of clean. Just kind of washing my hands. Okay. Just to give you a heads up, next step is going to use this large flat brush. Usually we start with this brush, but we haven't this time. We're kind of in the middle with this brush. Gonna use it to do all our nice blending in the horse and the unicorn. Now I'd prep lots of white paint for the next step. You'll need lots of white. Might even add some here. Yep. Erin, why do you think this would be, do you think this one would work nicely as a large round canvas like it did your Phoenix? Ooh, yes. My only fear is that the unicorn horn might fall off of it, so as long as you're okay with the tip not being there, I could see, here, watch my mouse here, like kind of centering the head would be really nice, and then maybe the horn kind of cuts off. But I think otherwise that would be beautiful. And, oh, Epic, thank you! Thank you very much! I was just waiting for my little notification to come through. I couldn't quite see it. Thank you for subscribing with Prime. I really, really, really appreciate that. Thanks so, so much. That supports me more than you know. Thank you. And free to you, hooray! Straight from Jeff Bezos to me. Thank you so much. 1 second to get the bathroom real quick. You're welcome to. I'm gonna move on to the next step just because I was leaving about 1 more minute. But yeah, run to the bathroom. I'm sure I can repeat stuff for you. I used to say about food only with paint. If you can't wear it, it ain't good. He says that about food? Yeah, oh yeah. I think that would be cool. Again, as long as you're okay, or just shorten the horn, but I think you'd want to keep it long and it kind of moves off, but otherwise it would be really cool. Hope for Dan, Florida here, first time catching your live painting, looks beautiful. Thank you, welcome in. Yeah, I'm doing a tutorial step by step, so you're catching me right in the middle of it, but yeah, welcome in, thanks for being here. So everybody, I've got my large flat brush and I've got lots of white paint. Lots of white paint. Real Smash, welcome in, hello. I'm going to start applying that white paint all over this unicorn. So this is where you can start to really like clean up edges. So you can really go on top of any of your galaxy to help smooth it out. You can see how straight that line is now. You might see a little bit beneath the white, but I wouldn't worry about it, especially where I am right now along the back of the unicorn. That's all going to be covered up with the mane, so you don't need to worry about that. And then we eventually get to here. And with this, we're going to be using some blue to blend in here, so if you see anything through the white, I would give it a chance and see if the blue helps cover, and if not, you can always just add a second or third coat if you really, really need it. Feel free to switch brushes if you want to while you're going around places like the ears and stuff. If that helps you, then feel free, but I'm just going to go ahead with this brush here. It seems to be doing okay. And filling in the whole thing, so you can really just do a nice big coat on top. You can see you cover up the outline a little bit, that's okay. It might kind of ghost through and help you with when we're doing that outline, doing that little carving of the chin area. I think this needs to be a little wider here. Again, just kind of alter as you go. If something needs to be a little bit taller, a little bit wider, just use your brush to go over top of whatever you need. Yeah, you're welcome, Hope. Oh, Emma McDougal, hello, welcome back. How's it going? TJ, welcome in. Sorry I'm modding a bit tonight, but I'm lurking. Sounds good. Taking notes, all good. Making a galactic masterpiece eventually. Yeah, do your mod things. That's totally fine, TJ. Thanks for coming in. So see that? I've done the straight down and then I just have a little bump for the snout. That's what I was trying to clean up there. Just straight down, a little bit out for the snout. Again, we have this remaining area here, which we will kind of carve out later. And then taking the back and kind of swooping down, back up. And you can fill in the rest of this area here. We will be doing a second coat if any of this dries, so don't worry too much. What I'm trying to do though is I'm trying to lay a nice wet white layer so we can do some blending. I'm going to start blending down in the body first, so we might need a second coat up in the head later on, which is totally fine. I'm just going to start with the body though, so I'm putting my fresh coat of white there right now. Lots of white just going back and forth, no particular way. I'm going kind of left and right and up and down, doesn't matter. Thanks for the lurk, Dragon. What I missed, we're just using white paint and we're just filling in our whole unicorn. So I'm using a nice large brush. That's really the only piece of knowledge we need. Carving out your edges, making it nice and smooth. You missed the magic. I'll rewatch this later. I got here late. No worries, Epic. Yeah. Thank you again for subscribing again. That's that's very, very helpful. Thank you so, so much. And no worries. If you want to hang out in the meantime and ask questions, you're welcome to. Otherwise, yeah, enjoy the video later. All good. Shannon, hiya. Not painting tonight. Wanted to pop in a bit, see how it's going. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, Julia, let me know if you have questions. Right now, we're just priming with white. So again, fresh coat of white. I will move on to the next step in the next minute or two because we want the white to be nice and fresh. Just so you know. So keep applying if you want to, like put a nice fresh coat on again. Especially in this body. That's where we're going to work first, in the body area. Getting off for tonight. Sounds good. I was showing super early. No worries. Catch you on your next stream. Take care. You too, Destiny. Nice to see you in Discord as well, by the way. Enjoy your evening and have a good showing tomorrow. So yeah, next little bit is going to be blending of the blues. So we can see in the body here, it's like, we have a white unicorn, but it's all shaded with blues. So I'll teach you kind of the shapes that I did here, how to blend. It does look a little funny as it's happening. I was really second guessing myself, honestly, as I was doing it. I was like, what the heck am I doing? It doesn't make sense. But you can see it all kind of comes together with the shape of the head, the mane and everything. So just kind of trust it. See how it goes. You can always go back later if you think something looks funny, but it will look kind of funny at the start. It'll be like, what the heck are we doing? You're like, why is there blue here? Why is there blue there? But just gotta keep going. Oh my gosh, Harper, thank you very much for subscribing as well. My goodness. Thank you. That's big support. Thank you so, so much for doing that. You're a bun now. Welcome in. You can use my little bun emotes. You get ad-free viewing, all that cool stuff. And you're supporting me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. All right. So we've got our white here. We've got our white on the canvas, nice and ready to go. What we're doing now is we're just adding small amounts of phthalo blue to our brush. So I'm just grabbing, my phthalo blue is very, very pigmented. So I'm grabbing a little, kind of wiping it off, just so there's kind of like a white-blue mixture on my brush. I didn't wash my brush off, by the way. If you did, that's okay, as long as you're just using a small amount of blue. And the idea is I want to brush this blue on as the white is still wet so that it kind of just fades on. It's very soft. It's not going to be a harsh edge. It's going to be nice and soft. So I'm starting along the back side of the unicorn. So I'm trying to leave this area free because that's where the snout is going to be later. And just doing this little wave kind of on the top here. You can see it softens up as you kind of blend it down. So as I move my brush down into the wet white, the blue kind of fades away. It kind of travels a little bit, but it stays nice and dark at the top. That's what I want. I want a little bit more of a dark blue near the top here, and then just kind of fades down so it looks like a blue hue almost. Like a little glow on the unicorn. Alright, if you're having trouble with the blend, you can always re-add some white to your brush, kind of use the brush to blend into the blue to get that nice soft bottom area. Just helps kind of sweep it away into the white. I'm going to move you closer too, by the way, for the next part, just so you can see. There we go. How do we subscribe, Erin? I'm not sure how Twitch works. Oh, I can show you, Wildberry. Just heard a pop in my paint. Oh no. So there's a subscribe button. Oh, thank you, Wookie. So there's a subscribe button in the bottom right of the screen there. You have subscription options. Wookie just showed you an option. If you have Amazon Prime, you can actually subscribe for free to you. It doesn't cost you any money, but it gives me money once a month if you keep resubscribing for free. So I would read the Prime one first if you have Amazon Prime. And then a subscription is a paid service, so you'd be paying out of pocket for that, but it gives me support throughout the month. So like a once a month thing. It's kind of like a Netflix subscription, except you're subscribing to me. So you get ad-free viewing, you get my emotes, and it supports me as a streamer, as somebody who's teaching acrylic painting tutorials. So yeah, couple options. Thank you for asking. If you have questions, let me know. Yeah, lots of info there. Alright, so I've got the top of the unicorn. The next place I want to go is kind of like what I imagine the back thigh to be. So what I do is I start from the top right, and I just move some blue kind of down to the left. It's like a nice big curve. I kind of see it as a 7. It goes across and down. I'm just going to move this up. So I can have, yeah, that blue streak, and then what I do is I just brush on top, kind of on the sides, and it blends it out and softens it up. So I just took my brush. You can kind of wipe it off if you think there's a little too much blue there. But as long as your white paint is wet, you're just kind of brushing along the sides and it blends it out. See that? So it looks like a nice, very soft feature. A soft shadow. And you can just keep playing with it as much as you want or as little as you want. It's going to be hard to get it like perfectly blended. There's always going to be like a couple streaks here and there. You can see some streaks in here. You know, try your best to get rid of those if you want, or just let them be. My horses, or my unicorn is a little streaky, I think, so streaks here and there is not a big deal. Yeah, and I just kind of keep going back, adding a little bit of blue at a time just to kind of further darken those two areas, and then blending out so you get a nice transition. So yeah, that was a streak there. You can add some white to your brush if you want to cover up anything. But yeah, don't be afraid to let the blue travel. If it's a nice soft blue, it can kind of move around and really kind of brighten up the unicorn, give it a nice, yeah, a nice kind of blue frosty glow. What was that? Oh, that was a follow. Thank you, Wildberry, for the follow. I can do Prime then. Oh, yes. Excellent. Yeah, so no cost to you. Everyone here as well. If you're looking to support me, if you have Amazon Prime, you can support me for free. No cost to you. It takes a little bit of steps to kind of link your Prime and Twitch account, but otherwise it literally gives me a little small monthly fee with no extra cost. So if you want to read about that, there's a little info in the chat there. Thank you, Wildberry. Oh, I'm sorry, Susan. Yeah, it might be the internet. I know on my end it's been pretty smooth. I think for most others, I'm not sure, honestly, if it's maybe the internet. I'm so sorry. I would just keep refreshing. I know you've been refreshing, but that's the solution when that's happening. There's always the replay, too, if you miss anything, and I can repeat things if you have any questions, so just let me know. Yay! Does it say Amazon Prime? As soon as subscribe, nothing about Prime. Oh, okay, so you need to do a couple steps first, same, so I'll put the Prime command in here again. But you have to visit gaming.amazon.com. You have to do a couple steps to link your account. So you'll need to sign into Amazon Prime. You'll need to say not subscribe. You'll need to say link to my Twitch account, and then you'll need to say try Prime Gaming for free. You need to kind of sign up for that for free, and then your Twitch account should be linked. You can refresh this page. If you see a little crown by your name, like the blue crown that you might see on some names, that means you've successfully linked your account. And then you can click subscribe, and then there will be a subscribe for free button. You kind of need to link things to see the button first. Yeah, you're following. Yep, you got it, Wildberry. So, yeah, if you want to subscribe with Prime, gaming.amazon.com, that link in the chat there, you can go there and try and connect some things. Mini speaker button, bottom left. Hover over. No worries, I understand, Wildberry. Yeah, all good, all good. Do not use same color of cup as your tea and paint water. Oh no! I've had that happen before. That's why I use a closed cup now when I'm drinking. It has a lid on it. No way I can get the paintbrush in there. Okay, the next spot where I'm going. So I'm doing the same step, everyone, just a different kind of shape and different area. I'm going to point out with my mouse. I'm doing this part here. Roalen, thank you for the follow and welcome in. So this part is more of a triangle look. So I'm starting from the bottom here. I would say it's like just below the snout almost. And I'm doing kind of this triangle. So I'm going to do kind of a curve up like this, a curve up like that, and I'm making somewhat of a triangle with blue paint. So this is kind of separating the front area of the horse, kind of like the belly and the front area. Kind of that front chest. It's same thing, I'm just kind of brushing on the sides here, softening it up so it looks a little bit softer, just not as harsh. Again, you can use a little more blue here and there. I just go nice and slow. You can see I do little bits of blue, kind of sweep it up. Just so I'm not playing with too much blue and it's getting too, too bright everywhere. You can add more white as you need to help blend. You can see, oops, I'm not afraid of allowing the blue to move around. I got a little bit of red in there by accident, a little bit of pink. That's an easy fix. Let's just get that out of there. But yeah, I'm not afraid to let the blue move around. You can see just a little bit of white will help tame it back down. I'm just going to zoom out so you can get full perspective again, kind of see how it's going. You can see how it's coming together. It might not look fully like a unicorn yet, but it is coming. I'm just going to add a little more blue. I like to really add lots of blue kind of right in the depth of all these little shadowed areas. So just kind of adding a little more, not blending it a whole lot, just letting it rest kind of at the bottom here. Maybe a little more in here. Just kind of sweeping quickly. That's a little better. Yeah. Blue crown. Yeah, so Phoenix has a blue crown by her name. That means that she successfully linked it to Prime. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, same. Thank you. Thank you, Wookie. So the link is right there. Gaming.amazon.com. If you click it, you'll go to the gaming, Prime Gaming website, and that'll allow you to link your accounts. You'll only have to do that once, and then you'll be able to subscribe for free from then on. yeah, feel free to visit the link and let us know if you have any trouble after. Alright, so one more spot that I want to add in the body of the unicorn. It's just a very soft spot. I'll point it out with my mouse right around here. It's right below the neck. Just gives a little bit of shape and shadow to the neck. So a little bit of blue. I'm starting kind of close to where the jawline is going to be. I'm just kind of sweeping down. There was a little yellow on there by accident, not on purpose. See how mine's green? Yours shouldn't be green, it should just be light blue. Whoops. So yeah, little curve coming down. If your white is dry, you can just use white paint on your brush to help blend that out. Or a little bit of water, a little bit of both, why not? And again, that's meant to be more of a soft curve. Mine is turning a little green. That is an accident. I'll call it a happy accident, I don't mind it. But it was intended to be blue, just so you know. My blue is spreading a lot, that's okay. As long as it's light blue, that's good. I'm just gonna add a little bit of darkness where the curve is, because that kind of got lost because of it. Little more. There we go. Yeah, because again, light blue, even if it's everywhere, it's not a big deal, because you'll have light spots and dark spots, right? As long as you have a little bit of both, you're fine. The light spots can be a light blue or a light purple or light any color you want. It's just the contrast between them all. Yeah, a little more here. So yeah, I'm just kind of continuing to brush in between these areas, keeping them nice and soft, re-adding white where I need to if I want to highlight anywhere. And I'm not worried about what's going along this edge. You can see I'm just leaving it because the mane is really going to cover all of this area here. So no worries there. Yeah, you're welcome, Wildberry. No worries. Yeah, all good. Next time you can be crowned. Yeah, a lot of people just like connecting it for the badge. Queen, yeah. You'll get it, you'll get it. It's a couple steps, but once it's figured out, it's like figured out forever. So it's a good little system once it's all set up. Alright, so I've got pretty much the body done, so I'm just leaving that for a quick minute, and then we're going to do the head of the unicorn. I keep wanting to say horse, but it's a unicorn. It's very specifically a unicorn. Not just a horse. So we'll be doing a similar technique just on the head next. Just so everybody knows. You'll be crowned. That's funny, Wildberry. Pouring a little more white. You'll need lots of white paint again, so if you need to pour any more, feel free to do that now. We're doing the same thing, kind of a white base and then blending. I'm not like Victoria in The Bachelor or anything. Oh, I see. You know The Bachelor, huh? Oh, yeah. How long have you watched The Bachelor for? Like, how many seasons? I still think she doesn't take the take compared to Tiara. Tiara and her little tiara. Can you do a hummingbird next time? Have I done hummingbirds? Let me think. I don't think I have. I could consider it. Julie, I always take requests. No guarantees, but I have a big list of little subjects and little animals and stuff. So I'm happy to consider it for next time. Or the next time or the next time. French fry, love this. Thank you so much and welcome in. Happy to see you here. I saw you follow a little earlier. Are you painting along right now? Alright, I'm gonna start filling in the head of the unicorn with white paint again. So I've switched brushes, that's the only thing. I've switched to my medium round brush because it's just a little bit of a smaller area. So just to stay a little more in control, I'm just going to use this brush. So you can use this to really carve out the head again. So kind of like that jawline that you had going on, kind of this dip down and over and then back down. I'm using the blue to really carve that out now to show myself where that is. Going around for the little nose or snout here. And then kind of like straight up pretty much from here. You can see if a little blue blends in, that's not a big deal. I'm just trying to get a nice wet base for now. Going going around the head. Same thing, I'm not as worried about back here because the mane is going to be back here. And then filling in the whole middle of the head, just doing a nice quick layer. No worries. Yes, guilty pleasure. Too long I miss Tasha though. She was my fave. Oh yeah, I quit halfway through the season. Honestly, all the stuff with Claire was just too much for me, and I was like, okay, we've peaked, you know. I just kind of was like over it at that point. Yeah, I heard good things about Tasha's season though. No spoilies, but heard good things. Yeah, but I'm back on it now. I thought I was gone, but they sucked me right back in. Guilty pleasure for sure. Open guilty pleasure for me. I talk about it all the time on stream. There's many of us in the community who watch. Now I'd like to have some french fries. Right, I know. When they followed earlier too, I was like, that would be good. Okay, so see we have a nice white base now. You can see the jawline a lot better, the overall shape. And I'm going to start adding some blue shadows, just like we did to the body. I'll give a quick half minute, then I'll go right into it. I almost did, but I knew Tasha would turn it around. Agreed. Yeah. Maybe I'll go back and watch it, but it was just exhausting. I'm exhausted. Honestly, it was so much in that season in the first couple episodes, and I was getting mad at the show and just how they were treating certain things, and you know how it is. It's just too dramatic sometimes. The most dramatic season yet. And you know, now there's news about that relationship too, and like trying to keep it spoiler free, but yeah. Sue's mama, I made seasoned french fries with dinner. Oh, yum! That's some of my favorite, just putting a little bit of seasoning on fries. Really amps it up. Alright, so I've got my white base. So now what I can do is add a little bit of blue. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do a little bit of blue, and I'm doing a little bit of gray. You might see some gray and eventual black around. I'll zoom in on the face so you can really see. But yeah, I'll show you exactly where I put them. I mostly do the black and gray around the features, like the eyes and a little bit of the mouth area. Otherwise, it's mostly blue. So I'm starting with just my medium round brush and a little bit of blue on my brush. Reflector, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. A little bit of blue on the brush, and I'll even zoom you in a little bit on the head too over here. That might help a little bit. Hopefully it does. Cool. So I like to go first of all along that kind of semi-straight, almost kind of angled part. Straight part, it is straight. Whether it's angled or up and down is for you to decide. Mine's pretty straight up and down, a little angled. Anyway, a little bit of blue, brushing that on along the side. So again, it looks like kind of the darkest part is on the side, then it just kind of fades away as you blend it into the white. So just using your brush to move in between the blue and white, fading it away. Grabbing a little more blue to do a little bit more. So yeah, you can see definitely on the edge there. And it kind of fades as you brush. You can brush it a little down. Same as the body. If the light blue travels a little bit, that's okay. It just adds a little bit of a nice tinge to the white. Fries, I love my air fryer. Anyone have one? People have been talking about air fryers a lot recently. I don't know if this is like a marketing tactic by the air fryer industry, but I feel like I've heard the word air fryer like 50 times in the past month. I don't know. Yes, I do. They are amazing. See? Everyone's like, they're amazing. Phoenix, they have stuff you can paint in acrylic paints. Will help extend paint wetness. Oh, there you go. Weather can play a part. Yeah, or heat. Just general heat in your room for sure. Game changer. Gonna try bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. Oh, I make those, but not in an air fryer. Let me know how they are. I just put them in the oven. My mom makes them. They're delicious, you guys. Why am I hearing air fryers like all the time this last month? I feel like I need an air fryer all of a sudden. I don't know why. Alright, down the snout, the other place I put it is close to where the nose will be, so it's pretty much like you're going around the snout here and you're kind of curving it up a little bit. Okay, so you're going around the snout on the left, doing a little curve and up. So just where the nose will be. You don't need to know exactly where the nose is because it'll kind of frame the nose, and we can like put a little highlight around the nose too, so just kind of following up the snout and then into the face a little bit more. because this is helping really show where the nose is coming down. It's kind of bringing that direction up and down like this. I'm adding just a little more blue. Again, I think it's key to just go a little bit at a time. So you can see I'm just continuing to add a teeny bit, throw it on, blend it out. You can kind of curl it around if you need to. Again, don't worry too much about all this. Just always remember to, you can always delete things. You can always put white on top. Get rid of something if you don't like it. Just gonna concentrate a little bit on trying to move around the nose and up. There we go. Maybe a little over here. Just blending it in. There we go. So yeah, maybe I'll add some white back in. Just little bits of paint is all you need. And I also like to put just a teeny little bit of blue. You can see over up here. It kind of travels up near the eye and down, so it really starts to lengthen the nose area. So I'm starting up here and just kind of curving down and around, it looks like, kind of just like thinning out the nose area. So the nostril will go right around here. Everything's kind of framing around it. Again, super loose, super light as well. So if it's not exactly like mine, that's totally fine. It's just all adding these small little bits for directional purposes. What's an air fryer? A tool used to kind of fry things, but just using heat, I believe, rather than like oil and stuff like that. It's like a yay big. I think it's just like air blasting essentially to heat it all up. A little healthier from what I understand, like a healthier alternative. I truly don't know. You add like a little bit of oil, I think, in there, just a wee bit. I don't really know how it works. I want an air fryer. I've never had one. Everything she made is delicious. There you go. If you want to make your unicorn black, totally fine. You could use just kind of black and gray. You would probably still want some highlights, Phoenix, so you could still use a little bit of white in there, but you can make it light gray if you need to instead, and that way you have light gray and black as your two colors rather than like white and something else. I organize my kitchen, shelving order. Right. Air instead of oil. So you don't yet add any? I feel like just from what I've seen, you add like a tiny bit, but maybe I'm thinking of something else. You could use light grays if you want, Phoenix. That might look a little better with your black, I think. You could use a little bit of white here and there. Yeah, or silver. Yeah. It would be like a dark unicorn. I like that idea. Just gonna blend out a bit more. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and add some gray now because I want to do some soft grays. So I'm just going to, once again, map out generally where the eye is. You can see a nice soft gray around the eye. We have a little bit of gray maybe in the nose just to kind of get that snout nice and dark. And we don't even have gray surrounding this. We're actually going to add a nice highlight on top after to really shape that out. So we don't need to worry about that. It's really just this bottom part and the top part. So if your white is a little bit dry at this point, I would actually go ahead and re-add a little bit of white in those two areas just so you have a nice fresh coat of white. So I'm adding a little bit of white to my brush. I'm just brushing it on close to where the eye is, so it's anywhere in that middle area, kind of top left middle-ish. Adding a fresh layer. And where was the other? Oh, down here. I'm adding a fresh layer kind of down here, right around the snout area. So I'll be adding some black and gray down here. Alright. Now we'll be dipping into our black, so just grab the tiniest amount of black. Tiny amount. Country girl likes it too. Awesome to cook with. No oil in the fryer. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. I thought it was like the teeniest bit, but I guess not. Yeah. Much healthier. No oil even needed for mood. My comes recipe book. Dang. Maybe I'll check this out. Why do I feel like I need one? You guys are selling me on it. So the teeniest amount of black. I didn't wash my brush off, by the way. That's why it looks a little bit white. I'm grabbing a tiny bit of black on it. I'm wiping it off so there's barely any there. And then that way when I go to add it, there's only going to be a little bit coming off. It might even turn gray because it's kind of mixing with the white. You can see it stays nice and light to begin with. It allows me to kind of blend it upwards without worrying too much about it, because I like to kind of swirl it around and bring it up again for that nice rounded shape in the snout. I'm just adding little bits at a time. I'm going to darken it even more down there because I do want it pretty close to black at the bottom part where it's very well shaded. Just kind of me playing with the blending right now. I'm just kind of wiping upwards, getting a little streaky, which is fine because I want to see kind of that direction, right? I want to see where everything's moving. If you need to whip out a tiny brush, even to get like this little detail down here, totally fine. I'm just kind of using the tip of this brush personally and just lightly wiping around, and then continuing to blend as needed. See, that creates a nice shadowed area. Might even try and flatten it just a little bit. Mine's very rounded, so I'm going to flatten a little on the bottom and then round up. That's a little better. You can kind of carry it around the edge if you need to. Yeah, that's about good there. And then the other spot I added was right around here. So again, this is generally where the eye is going to go. So I'm just creating kind of a very loose almond shape. The almond is kind of diagonal, so it's not up and down, it's not horizontal, it's pointing kind of diagonally, top left, bottom right. So almond shape, I mean there's like a nice tip on this side with a nice curve, tip and a nice curve. General almond shape, and then what I do is I blend it outwards. So I'm really creating a nice shadowed area. So I'm not trying to create the shape and size of the eye, I'm trying to go larger than that. I'm just kind of bringing it in and curving and blending outwards like this. So I'm creating a little bit of a socket or an area for the eye. And again, yeah, you can see kind of wiping around, trying to blend it into its surroundings. That's why I had white there to begin with. So it helps blend it a bit. So I'm just playing around with that, maybe darkening a little bit more. Not worried about the eye shape. I'm going to add the eye on top after. Just worried about what's going on around it right now. See that? It just slowly darkened up a bit. And that's probably all you need. It's very, very soft. You can always go in and add more later, but for now I'm going to keep that there, and then I'll put the eye on top of it. No oil in yours. You could use oil for fries. Chicken is not needed. Oh, sick. Pampered Chef air fryer is like the adult Easy Bake Oven, no oil. I love that stuff. That's hilarious. The adult Easy Bake Oven. Like to try steak. Oh no, you're fine. All the good chat. No, you're good. You're good. I love when the chat goes off like this. It's fun. Food chat. You're good. No more black. You could use purple, Julia, if you want. Thank you. Love black. Mine's kind of dark, twisted place. Yeah. I just think it's cool as like a counterpart. Usually the unicorns are always white, very light colored. That would be a cool counterpart. Again, like I said, like a dark unicorn. Cool twist on it for sure. Mine's kind of looking dark and scary right now without the big eye, but that'll change. Okay, I'm just giving everyone an extra minute or two if you're still adding there. I'm gonna zoom out, you can see how it's looking. That was a little tilted. There we go. See that shape coming together. We have one more thing to do shading wise, and then we'll go into the nice dark details. We want to add the ears a little bit, so we're gonna do that in the next minute. Oh yeah, you were talking about how Pampered Chef isn't in the UK, right, Wookie? Marwin, welcome in. I discovered you and just did your cardinal, 80% of it, finishing touches tomorrow. Oh, cool. Time for bed now. So happy to have discovered you. I'm happy you're here. Thank you so much. If you haven't followed, feel free to follow me, Marwin, and then you'll be notified when I go online. So if you want to hang out tomorrow, I'll be online tomorrow, 11 a.m. I'll be painting again. So, but yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed the cardinal. Thanks for letting me know, and have a good sleep. Wildberry, good night, Twitchers. I have to get galloping out now. See you final word. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Aaron. You're very, very welcome. Yes, get an air fryer. All right, I'll get on it. Priority purchases, excuse me. Air fryers, they're healthier to use. Yes, yes. Everyone seems to be really big fans of them. Oh, dark blue, that's a good idea. Sad times, no more Pamper Chef. Oh, I remember you talking about that. Mine is a dark and twisted place. Never mind walking a mile in my shoes. Spend 5 minutes in my head. That'll freak you out. Bakes, dehydrates, reheats, and air fries. Man, it's just multi-purpose. Healthier, I found to make your fries all the time. Oh, not right. If you make fries all the time, are they still healthy? Very true. Alright, last little piece before we do the details, everybody. I'm just doing some white on the ears just to, again, kind of prime them. We will be using lots more black this time for a nice dark inner ear, but it helps to, again, have a little bit of white there just to help with blending. And for a second coat if you need it, right? Just to get your ears a little bit more solid. Okay, so once I have the white, I'm just grabbing a little bit of black and I'm putting that in the inner parts of the ear. So I'm pretty much just leaving a little white outline, thinnish white outline around the edges of the ears. Otherwise, I'm just kind of filling with black. And as you fill in, it kind of changes into a nice gray. That's why I primed it with white, so it kind of fades away as I come down here. I'm not too worried about blending this. You can blend this as much as you want to make it kind of fade away like you see here. Leanne, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for doing that. Lovely, lovely. You're a bun now. Thank you so much. You can use my bun emotes and you get ad-free viewing. Thank you. So yeah, if you need to blend, you can add more white, kind of blend the bottom out. But we will be putting the mane there, so anything kind of messy looking, don't worry about it. Again, it will be covered up. For now, I would just focus on the ears that, the top part of the ears that are going to be showing after you do the mane. So just concentrating on that, blending it down. So you can see it's kind of messily blended, just kind of soft. That's okay. You can add more black if you want a little more darkness, especially like right near the top. I kind of like the idea of it fading down. There we go. Rotisserie too. Oh my gosh, it has like 6 features. Hype. Thank you again, Leanne. Okay, just giving a quick minute, then we're moving right along. My ear's a little bit rounded. I'm gonna try and point it just so everyone knows. There we go. A little better. It's a big ear. My ears are a little wonky. That's okay though. I can always touch those up later. Alright, we will be switching to a small brush next, so you can get your teeny tiny brush ready to go if you haven't already. So we'll be adding some nice features, some nice details like the eye and the nostrils and stuff. Then we're just adding a mane and a horn. Rotisserie, that's wild. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in on the nose first, the nice nostril. We have 2 of them. So the first one here, more of like a teardrop shape. We have a point at the bottom right, and then it curves around at the top. You can see it's kind of like on that left-hand side of the snout right here, just a little in. Again, kind of anywhere around that blue you were using to frame the area. So I'm just using plain black with my small brush, and I'm going to create a nice nostril, so again, a nice rounded top. And it kind of points like down to the right a little bit into a nice point. So place it on, see how it looks. It might look a little funny to begin with because it's going to be a very distinct kind of black dot there. I think mine's a little high up actually. I might move mine, see if I can do that real quick. Yeah, it might look a little distinct at the start, but we're going to add a little white ring or a white highlight around it, and that'll help help soften it up a little bit. So yeah, if you don't like where it was, you can see I just wiped mine off. I'm gonna grab some white, put it on top. I'm gonna move it down a bit. I'm too picky. Might cause a little bit of a disruption in the area, but I'll figure it out. Messy, messy. Alright. I'm gonna do that again, moving it down a little bit. Mine was just a little too high. Let's go like here. I think that'll be better. Yep, that's a much better spot. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, you can see mistakes happen. You just wipe it away, cover it up, try again. It's always key to keep trying again. Okay, there's one black nostril. And then the other nostril, you can see I just kind of add on the side. It's kind of peeking in on the right-hand side. Right here. So it's just a nice little black line kind of hanging out on the right-hand side, as if you see just the other side of it. Just the left-hand side of that other nostril, kind of peeking over. So again, the reason it looks so funny right now is because there's no white ring around it. I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and I find once you add this kind of white or gray ring, really looks nice and different. It looks like it's kind of deep in rather than laying on top. I'm shifting us up to the eye now. Blue looks funny in the ears, but good. Lynn, welcome in! Love, love, love the paint. Thank you! Alright, you want it zoomed in? I can zoom in on the face a little bit here. You can see what's going on. There we go. So for this eye here, what I start with is a nice black, round eye. Inside, well, I guess I should start with the almond shape. Let's do that. So I'm using plain black on my small brush, and I'm going to do a nice wide almond shape. So like I was doing before. 1, 2. So I'm just kind of framing the actual eye here. It's a nice curve going down and up. Nice curve going up and down, meeting at 2 points on either side. Starting with black. You see there's a teeny bit of detail in there. I'll get to that in a second, but starting with black. Yeah, blue eyes are pretty though. That would be great if you kept it blue. I just used black to keep it nice and dark compared to everything else I had, but blue would be beautiful. You can do purple, you can do really any color you want. Make your eye color special to you. Alright, so I was jumping ahead before, but here we go. I'm now adding a black circle in the eye. So it's not going to be a full circle. I find what I think is best is I kind of do a circle coming from the top of the eye. So it comes all the way down and around. You can see the whole bottom of the circle. It just almost reaches the bottom of the eye. And then before it can complete, it comes back up and kind of hides behind the rest of the eyelid. So you're seeing the bottom part of the circle, but not as much the top. You know, it's hanging down and then it disappears. I did add little eyelashes to my unicorn's eye, so I just used some black paint and I kind of flicked outwards at the top corner just to give it a little more of a flare on the end here. It does get covered up a little by the mane, but I thought it was a cute little feature. You can see a little bit of it in my unicorn here, so I will add it to this one. Just extra darkness around the eye. And then to finish it up, instead of leaving this white or background color, I use gray to kind of put a ring around the eye. So I mix together white and black on my plate with a small round brush. I'm using the gray to kind of fill in any remaining space. So I'm kind of thinning out that black outline. I'm going around the pupil, just using gray. You can see a very subtle gray to fill that in. So it's not white, it's not like glaring at us, it's just very, very light. Helps us shape out the inner pupil and the outside ring around the eye. A little more shapely. You can always go back in with black if you need to alter anything. I'm just going to make my pupil a little bigger again. There we go. That's the eye. And same as the nostril, we just have the right hand eye, but it kind of pokes out on the right hand side. See it right there. So I really just stay on the same horizontal plane. I just do a little bit of a curve of black, kind of peeking out from the right hand side. So it's not on the face, it's coming off of the face on the right hand side. Just like a round object kind of peeking. You can just see a little bit of it. Just start small, make it a little bigger at a time until you think it looks right. It's just going to be a subtle little part there peeking through. You can add some little eyelashes if you want. I just added a little flare like that, just flicking my brush at the top. But that's all for the eyes. They're kind of like bug eyes, right? They're very big, so they can kind of see. You can see it on the other side. Very nice. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, white works too. That's okay. In fact, I'll use white to do one last step for the eyes here and for the nostril. Just gonna zoom out a little bit here. So yeah, for the eye, you can see I do a nice little white glisten. And so for that, I'm just grabbing white on my tiny round brush, excuse me, and dotting one little dot just in the pupil, kind of near the bottom right. I did do a tiny dot in here. It looks a little bit lighter, but it is there. And then I also take white on my small brush and I go around this black teardrop shape of the nostril. So you can see as I go around, it might grab a little bit of black and mix into like a light gray. But I find the key is as long as it's going on top of anything in the background here, so as long as you're kind of carving out a lighter area on top of this blue, on top of this gray, it really frames the nostril a lot better. Again, it makes it look a little more three-dimensional in my opinion, rather than looking like just a little black spot on top. So you can see I'm just framing it, going around, trying to keep it nice and light. And I think it makes it look like it's, yeah, it's more sunken in by framing it like that. So just go around with the white, blending a little if you need to. I'm doing that around this guy too, just on the side. Maybe moving it a little higher up. So yeah, play with that. You can kind of play with the shape as you go too. There we go. Zooming out. See how that's looking? It looks a little more framed that way. There we go. And I'll zoom you out here. Yes, thanks Chrissy for suggesting. I'm going to zoom out on both now. If anyone needs zoomed in on one, I'm happy to do that, but here it is zoomed out. Again, this ear is a little big. Just pointing it out. That's okay though. I look so reflected. That's good. Yeah, you can. Same. If you click on my name, click videos, then you can click this video that's currently playing and just scroll through as much as you like. Yeah. Can I play this right afterwards when you're done? Yes, you can. Yeah, T-Win, no worries, no worries. Yeah, feel free to keep watching along if you have questions about what I'm doing, that's okay. And I do hang out for at least a few minutes after, usually like 10 to 15 realistically. So even if you want to like catch up and ask me questions during that time, you can. But yes, right after this is done, you can replay it. iHearts, hello. Yes, you can now. iHearts is right. If you click my name, erinbunpaints, and then click videos, you can click this video, which is in progress, and you can scroll through right now if you need to. But yeah, either one works. You can listen along, ask me questions, whatever you like. It's sure, Erin, I'll give it a try. Nice try. Ooh, yes, please do, Lynn. Oh yeah, I would wait till the end, Julia. We can see how it looks, because sometimes the final things really add flair. Like right now, mine just looks kind of plain, and I'm like, there's something wrong. You know what's wrong? It's missing the mane. It's missing the mane and the horn. It's gonna make it magical, right? So you gotta give it a little bit of a chance. Try adding these next few steps. If it still looks a little off, let me know and I can help you. Oh yeah, Hoki? Same thing. You can send me a photo and let me see. You can either take a chance with the mane if you think it's like not even close to there. Send a little photo to me and I'll give you some suggestions. Otherwise, I would try adding the mane just to see how it looks. Then we can decide if we really need to alter it. A baby horse now. Yeah, almost. Nice and clean. Mm-hmm. Alright, so first thing I want to do, everybody, is I do want to add the horn so that we can make sure we have 2 coats if you need it. Because you might need 2 coats of white for this horn. So I'm back to my medium round brush and white paint. And the horn I put from the very middle, kind of top middle of the head, and I bring it all the way out, almost to the edge of the painting. It kind of goes up and to the right. So I'm just going to use the tip of my brush with white paint. And I'm going to start just with a big line. Trying to make it thin to start, but I will thicken it up. I'm just kind of pointing in the direction I want to go. And then I'm widening it a little bit at the start and keeping it nice and thin at the end. So you can just kind of use a little more pressure on your brush to add a little bit more width, releasing pressure as you get to the end. So a nice big kind of triangular cone shape. Very long. There we go. So that's layer 1. So if you have enough white paint that it's creating a nice thick layer, that's great. I just want to get that on there in case you want 2 layers. Because it would honestly make a little more sense to add this horn after the main, but just to make sure you can get 2 coats on there, we can do it first here. I'll go with it. I think my shading was rushed. Gotcha, okay. Main on. Yeah, I would suggest that. See how it looks. Sometimes it surprises you with little final details like that. Okay, so I've got the horn, so now I'm just going to start to add the mane. So the mane, again, totally customizable. Do whatever colors you like. I liked the idea of sticking with kind of dark to light to very, very light tones of purple. You can do a rainbow mane. You can choose one color and do dark to light of that color. Doesn't matter. But I chose purple. So I'm just using my medium round brush again, and I'm mixing red and blue together. Putting maybe a little bit of water in it too, just to keep it a little more flowy. And I'm going to start just by doing some hair with this dark purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it just lighter and lighter and lighter on top of each other. So I'm going to start anywhere in the middle, and I'm just going to start flowing downwards with some strokes. So I'm going to kind of frame the head first. I'll start in the top middle and do a stroke maybe coming down like this. So I'm keeping all these strokes nice and quick and flowy. They all just kind of curve off. They'll look a little funny at the start because there's only going to be a couple of them and you're going to be like, what's going on? But the more you add, the better it gets. You can start some from behind the ear and just do a short one or two. I like the idea of them kind of flaring out, so I kind of curve, you can see, kind of down and then outwards. Makes it look very airy and light. You can cover up a little at the top of the head here. You can make it, you know, you can do a couple pieces coming near the eye if you want, kind of like little bangs. They kind of curve down like this, framing the eye. Maybe lightly going over top. Yeah, this unicorn has a hairstyle. It's all shaped on the sides here. Again, very bold strokes. Oops, that's blue. Sorry. That should be purple. Just trying to keep it very just flowy, calm. No quick curves. They're all just very subtle curves going lightly left, lightly right, and down. We'll do a couple more in this dark color, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten it up. So it looks very dark and spooky right now, but as we add light colors on top, it'll lighten it all up. Just making sure I get some longer ones in here. We want a nice long, very flowy mane. Could I do it in black canvas instead of white? You sure could. Yep. That'll give you a nice dark background to begin with. You'll be less worried about making your galaxy super dark because it'll just be dark already. Definitely. So yes, very flowy. It's like very layered haircut, you know, lots of little pieces flowing everywhere. Don't forget this side, you can do a couple little like flowy pieces coming off here. Hide some behind the horn, so as if they kind of come from the top here and then go behind the horn in this way. I really like doing that, kind of framing on either side with curves. You can always clean up the horn later. So yeah, very dark, very like piecey right now. But then what we do is we lighten up the purple and keep going. On top of the purple we could paint pink. Oh, we sure could. Yes, you can do a multitude of colors if you want. I stuck to just the purple shades, Lynn, but for sure you could do pinks in there. You could put blues back in there as well. Anything that mixes well with pink. Yeah, yes. So when I have my dark purple on, now I get to make a nice light purple, so I just mix some white into my purple. This is more of like a lavender color. It's still not my lightest purple. I'm going to make an even lighter one later. But I just kind of add that right beside or on top of my other streaks. So you might get a little bit of blending, but I'm just reloading my brush each time to have a fresh amount of paint. That way I can just kind of stack on top, allow it to flow. If it mixes a little, that's okay, but I'm just trying to really bulk up the hair. You can see I'm starting to bring it out further, so don't be afraid to bring it up above the head, kind of framing above it. Fresh blowout on this unicorn, nice fresh dew. Just flowing everywhere. So yeah, make medium pieces, make long pieces, just make sure you're stopping in a variety of areas so you get lots of different layers going on. You can see all the beautiful colors like stacked on top of one another. You can even start them midway if you want to kind of hide them behind. Just go like this, and then you're filling up the bottom area. Thank you, Manifidar. Oh, yes. It is number... Ooh, you want to type exclamation supplies, Lynn? I think it's number 6. I think it's number 6. For the medium. Yeah, it says it in the supply list, though. It says all those numbers. Okay, just stacking on more at the bangs here. You're welcome, Lynn. I'm pretty sure it's number 6. Again, smaller pieces, just really closely framing the eye. Again, if there's blue here, that's just a result of my purple not mixing very well. I just grabbed the blue instead of the red blue, so... And that gives you a preview for what blue could look like. So yeah, you can see the dark purple kind of got hidden, which is nice. It's not as dark as anymore, but it's still there, so it gives a little bit of a shadow. Just adding a little more, maybe over here. Maybe on the top of the head here, coming down. Didn't really add any like coming out this side, but you could if you wanted. And it's up to you how many layers you want to do of this. I'm going to do one more layer with a very, very light purple, so just doing more white into my purple. It's like hardly purple at this point, it's barely there. And I'm just going to use that as a nice final touch up on my mane. Hello, 3 o'clock or so in Europe, Scotland time. Oh, I'm just popping to side. Yeah, true. What happened to that? I mean, I love that you're here, obviously, but what happened to sleep? Sleep tonight. So you can see there's a nice highlight on top and just doing my nice very, very light purple now. And again, I like the idea of it blending. If you don't want it to blend, you can leave a little extra time in between each hair color. And that way you'll get some very, you know, distinct strokes. But I kind of like it blending. You can see it kind of picks up purple as it goes, kind of changes on the way down. Again, the key is just kind of sticking with the stroke, going all the way down, flowing all the way. Even if it starts to mix, just keep going. Add some more maybe here. You can use less pressure on your brush if you want thinner strokes as well. So if you just want some thin strokes on top of your thick ones, you can just use less pressure. But you can see how it just fills right up. Some bangs. Really extend those. They kind of curl in even after the horn. And you can see again how the ears covered up. Remember I said the bottoms of the ears, they don't matter? Yep, it's because they all become covered with the mane. So there you go. Maybe one or two over here. There we go. These need to be a little longer. And yeah, you can go backwards to other colors if you want. If you're kind of missing out on the dark colors now, you can just add your dark colors back in if you need to, but I like ending with the light ones on top. I think it adds a nice highlight. Still think it could be fluffier too. I could probably extend even more out here, so just keep playing. Make it flow however you want. Nice and bold and beautiful. Hello, purple. Thank you! Destination October, yeah. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Needs to be darker purple to match my hair. Yeah, heathens, you do what you need to. What's up? Welcome in. We had the dark purple. We just ended up covering it a bit. But yeah, I get your vibe. Mm-hmm. Hair changes everything. Right? See, exactly. That's why I say to people, give it a chance. The mane might bring it all together. It looks completely different now. And if it doesn't, if you still think there's things off, you can go backwards. You can play around with the face a bit more, or the body, whatever you need to do. Again, that's what's great about acrylics. Just keep going backwards if you need to. Thank you, Heathens. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're almost done, actually. We've got the horn to go here. So I'll give everyone a minute or two if you're still playing around with hair. I see we're about 8 minutes past, so I'll make sure to get the horn on in the next minute or two for you. Just a quick little step, and then we add some little glitters. That is what I'm learning, to wait to see the result. Exactly, we're our worst critics, and just like things don't look great until it's all there. Honestly, it's with everything that I do. Outside of tutorials too, when I'm doing, it's even more so, I'd say, in more complicated personal pieces. You're doing layer after layer, you're putting on things, you're moving them around, you're seeing how they all work, right? So, Pig Bear, Monkey Bunny, welcome in. All your favorite animals, huh? Thanks for following. But yeah, for sure. Oh, he looks shy. Is he all kind of like hiding in his mane? That's kind of a cute look. Cute. Wow. Have a cute wow uwu bun now. Look at him. This is how I feel right now looking at my unicorn. Uwu. Perfection is just a chase work. Work it till you like it. Ah, there we go. Biggest problem, right? Yeah, trying to make it perfect. You gotta get rid of that notion. You gotta just pull through, and you can always perfect things later, but I think if you just pull all the way through, you'll see that you like it as is. Agree, me too. Yeah, yeah, we're all our worst critics, for sure. Yeah, Lynn, you're learning. That's why it's good to post, right? You can see how people are like, see the beauty in your art versus you're critical or I'm critical. Yeah, we're always so critical of our own. Yeah, just fun, not perfection. Exactly. It'll never be perfect, honestly. In reality, it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something slightly wrong, right? Or something wrong in your eyes. It's never going to be just the exact way you want it. Just let it go. Alright, last step that I'm going to grab for everybody. If you want to do a second coat on your horn, you can do that now if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do this kind of spiral look. And I did do just one coat of white, I believe, last time, and it was good enough for this kind of white-pink spiral here. So I have my white base on. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to use my teeny tiny brush and some pink paint. Again, feel free to change the color, not mandatory for pink. None of this is mandatory, do what you want. But yeah, this is an easy part to change. White and red mixed together to make pink. And I do these kind of, they're not like candy cane stripes. I think they're a little bit different. They're kind of like very, very elongated S's. I'm going to show you. I kind of like to go along the top of the horn, swing down to the right, and then swing over to the right. So it's all kind of bendy. I'm going to thicken that up just like in my original, but that's kind of the look I go for. It's not like a quick curve, it's a little bit of like a bendy backwards S shape. The S goes this way, this goes the other way. I'm going to do that again. And what I do is I hook those all very close together. So again, I'm going to start at the top of the horn, bend down, go off to the right. Go along the top, bend down, off to the right. And you can see how they're all very close together, kind of hooking together. The one difference I'm seeing right now, I think I'm using a brighter pink than my original, but it's the same look and shape, so if you want it a little softer like my original, just use a little more white paint in your pink. Top, swing down, bottom. Just kind of frames the whole thing a little bit better, because you're kind of outlining it in a way too as you go, right? Top, down, bottom. But yeah, fill it up however you want to. It could be plain white, it could be a bunch of colors. Down, over, down, over. It's kind of like a little chain link in a way. All the way to the end. It just makes it look a little more wrapped, you know? I think it makes it a little more three-dimensional in a way, like it's literally wrapping around one another, you know? With all these little curves on the top. The horn itself is wrapped. There we go. Zoom out. Whoopsie, zoom out. There we go, see that? I think my horn got a little wonky right around here, so I can just extend the base of it to match. Let me see. I think it looks a little thin over here. That's a little better. Cool, cool. Touch it up as you like. Alright, I've got one teeny tiny step left for you. I just like to add a few extra little stars and glitters on my painting. You can see in the hair here, I'll zoom in to show you. That's the nostril. Yeah, in the hair you can see all of my little crisscrosses. It just makes it look a little extra glittery. It's the same shape as we did for the star. Remember I showed you that star that we can do a few of in the sky? We do just a bunch of those in the hair, kind of glittering around the unicorn, especially one at the very tip. You can see I added a couple diagonal lines through it to make it extra sparkly. But yeah, just adding those wherever you like. So nice, easy last step, nice and calming, hopefully, just to add some nice little sparkles everywhere. Just going to grab my white paint on my teeny tiny brush and add those really wherever I like. I'm going to read comments as I go ahead. But yeah, that's the last step here. Perfect in the eye of the beholder. Part of my problem is that school, the teachers made me feel bad about getting an answer wrong. Yeah, and in art class too, it's hard when it's like, let's judge your artwork. That's a little weird, isn't it, right? Astrolivical, really nice to see you again. Welcome back. Love a bright pink. Thank you. Love the background. Thank you. I just taught it a few hours ago. So if you're interested in how to do it, you can look back at this VOD and learn. How have you been? For the years that yell at me, think of it like tree. Yeah, ring variations that'll add character. Exactly, like rings of growth for sure. Julia, you're finished! Oh, fun! Anything else you're gonna add? You think you're done? If you think you're done, I would sign it. That's always the very last step, which I will do in a minute here. I'm just gonna add some little twinklies. So again, vertical line, slightly smaller horizontal line, just crisscrossing through. Thank you, very awesome. Thank you, Vonda. Thank you, Astro. First grand teacher, oh, thanks, Dragon. Yellow and white, cool. Yeah. Again, I can't wait to see all the color variations. I bet we'll get lots of different color variations. This one's a nice one to customize however you want. Doing good, busy working on art stuff. How are you? I'm good, thanks. I'm glad you're working on art stuff. Anything you want to talk about or share? What you working on? Art stuff. I've been trying not to be harsh at judge my art, just going with the flow. Yeah, exactly. We all need to be a little bit easier on ourselves, especially when doing art, getting creative. It's good that you're making time for it. That's what matters. Exactly. It's you gotta be kind. Just like you would be to anybody else's art, right? You would see the beauty if someone else did it. It's hard to remember that when you did it. You're always very critical, right? I could do better. That's off, whatever. But if someone else were to make it, you'd be like, amazing. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, you know each other. Heathens, Astro. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Julia, I would recommend posting it. I'll actually here, if you do exclamation photos, I'd recommend posting it in any of these places, and then that way I can see it. Just doing a little sparkle on the tip of the horn here. There we go. So that was like a horizontal, vertical, diagonal for a nice big sparkle. And that's the last step, just adding all those nice little sparkles. Whee! Alright, and the final step is always signing it, so I'm doing a little very subtle signature in the background here, bottom corner. And that completes the unicorn, yay! Yep, those are the photo links there. I have to finish up a piece of art for school, mainly what I've been working on. Ah, okay, cool. That'll be good when you get that done, it'll feel good. Thank you, Dragon, I appreciate it. End star, oh yeah, so that was again horizontal, vertical, and then 2 diagonal lines. All crisscrossed. There's a nice close-up for you, Charlene. Whee! There we go. Yeah, there's the socials. Thank you, Phoenix. Watch Live When I Can. Oh, cool. Very nice. I love the little crossovers. I got lost way back in the blue blending for the back body, so we'll have to figure out how to go back somewhere. I was working on a wooden frame rather than a canvas. Ooh, wanted a bigger picture. Okay. So not as good at all. Yours looks amazing. Thanks, Linda. Linda, if you need any help, yeah, all the photo things are there, but Facebook especially, if you private message the Facebook page, I can actually let you know what I see, you know, to change if you have any questions about what to change and all that. You said you got lost though, so maybe you just need a bit more time. Yeah, you'll be able to go back here on Twitch. Right now, if you want, you can click my name, then click the videos tab. Click the video that's currently in progress and you can go back and look. Otherwise, you're welcome to come back here another day or go onto YouTube. It'll be uploaded within hopefully the next couple days on YouTube. Pog, pog, pog. Done! Yay, Julia! Good job! Oh, sounds good, Lynn. See you later, cool cat. Charlene, this one, hope it looks good. You're welcome. So much fun again. Glad you had a good time. You're welcome, Linda. Yeah, any of those sources I can have a look for ya. Okay, so just to kind of wrap things up in case anyone's leaving, thanks so much for coming, everybody. Hope you had a great time with the unicorn. I was really, really excited to do this one because a lot of you had been asking for unicorns for a long time, so I'm glad we got it done. I'm going to zoom out so you can see again. If you're looking for another tutorial, I'm going to do another one next Friday. I do them pretty consistently Fridays at 8 p.m. EST, sometimes a little more here and there. Recently, just once a week, though. Next week, I'll be doing this. I'll be doing a little train track. Railroad track. So a nice bright, bright, bright sky. It's really this bright in person. Again, you can see it right on camera here. Super bright. Purples, pinks, oranges. I'll teach you about the tree. We can do a nice little silhouette. Honestly, I think a little more of a simpler one. There's some nice blending in the background. We can spend lots of time on that. And then it's just really adding some silhouettes and some nice train tracks. So that's going to be next Friday at 8 p.m. EST. The event is on Facebook if you want to RSVP, just in case you want to keep track that way. Otherwise, you just come back here before 8 p.m. on Friday of next week, and I'll be here hosting that one. If you want to post photos, again, I posted that little photos link in the chat, so if you want to post any photos of your final paintings, here are all the places: Facebook, Instagram, Discord, even Twitter. You can do any of those spots. I check all of them. Feel free to tag me, that way I can really easily see it. All the instructions are there. If you're interested in supporting me tonight, thank you for those who do. My goodness. I do a lot of these free tutorials, again, like once a week, almost every week. So if you want to, you know, tip, those are the tip links. Thank you very much. They're never expected, just always appreciated. There's an Interac e-transfer, PayPal, and Streamlabs. If you tip through Streamlabs, it'll pop up on screen for all to see. So it's a fun little celebration. Thank you for those who do that. And then subscribing is an option as well. People were asking about, subscribing. There's more info on subscribing. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. That means you give a monthly fee to Amazon. They give me a cut of that at no extra cost to you. You get one free subscription on Twitch for each Prime account that you have. So feel free to use that on me if you please. Otherwise, subscriptions can be a paid service as well. It gives you some benefits. It gives you ad-free viewing, just as the Prime does, for example. So yeah, you can use any of those options too to support me. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. I've got a lot of support this month. We just reached our donation goal for a C stand. So I'll be buying I already bought a C stand on Amazon today. So it's coming. It's coming. Thank you for those who helped reach that donation goal right here. Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's my spiel. I don't know what else to say. Keep an eye on the schedules. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, and if you want to check me out on Twitch anytime before the next tutorial, I'm going to be on a lot. I'll be on tomorrow if you want to hang out and paint with me. When I'm on Twitch just during other hours other than tutorial nights, I'm just painting. You can see me work on some personal pieces. You can ask me about how I paint those or how I paint tutorial paintings. Sometimes I design tutorial paintings so you can help me design them. Yeah, just here to hang out, keep everyone company, get some good vibes going in this crazy world.